types of authentic Argentinian empanadas, and they are incredible, especially the breakfast ones. You gotta try it.
Sounds perfect. And how awesome is it that they're so close to each other?
Oh, it's perfect, all right.
Give them a try. Che Empanadas, House of Hops, Salt and Lime, and Sharky's. Just a hop, skip, and a jump from each other off Raleigh Road, Glenwood, and Grove Barton.
John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington is taking the hassle out of getting the best price on your new 2025 Ram 1500 with employee pricing for everyone. And along with employee pricing, you could get 3.9% for 72 months too. See dealer for details. With John Heister having the largest inventory and the best selection in the Raleigh area, you're sure to find the one with your name on it. So get off your keister and come to Heister for the Make This the Summer event. John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington.
If you see something, why do you say something?
I see safe for my friends.
For my community.
For everyone here.
We all have something worth protecting, a why that unifies us. Report suspicious activity to local authorities. If you see something, say something.
Aloha! Dreaming of sandy beaches and ocean breezes? JTV's Tropical Treasure Sweepstakes could make that dream come true. Enter for your chance to win a fabulous Hawaiian getaway for two with luxury accommodations, airfare, and spending cash. Plus, just for entering, get $30 off your next qualifying JTV purchase of at least $99 when you opt in for emails. Don't miss out. Visit jtv.com/sweeps and enter by August 3rd. JTV, where paradise awaits.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
Get in the hole!
That's ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Midday Wednesday in the mid-to-upper 80s with highs today in the low 90s. Partly cloudy with a few hit-or-miss showers and storms. Lower chances Thursday. Thursday begins in the mid-70s with highs in the mid-90s. I'm meteorologist Chris Michaels in the WRAL Severe Weather Center.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 204 points at 44,228. Market update brought to you by Bolton Construction Services. Bolton is actively hiring experienced HVAC techs with a $2,500 sign-on bonus. As a family-owned leader in HVAC, Bolton puts people first. Don't miss out. Apply now at boltonservice.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. I'm Tim Donnelly. Once again, Graham Hill producing the show for us. And today is a kind of a big day. NHL schedule release day. How about it? NHL schedule release day. It's I don't know, you don't get to eat the food, but at least got the menu. And also, it is our third to last day where you can become a finalist to win your weight in meat. Today, 4 o'clock. Tomorrow, 4 o'clock. Friday, 4 o'clock. Those are your last chances to become a finalist to win your weight in meat. The only things you have to do are text in beef, BEEF, to 919-860-5326. Then you're in the pool. You can text once a day to get additional entries. We will randomly select one person that texts in beef, call them at 4 o'clock today. They have to answer their phone. So the second thing you have to do is have your phone on and somewhere you can answer it at 4 o'clock. Pick up, come on the air, tell us how much you weigh. you're a finalist. One of the 10 finalists will be selected next Monday. Same deal, call at 4. They answer their phone. They will win their weight in meat. It's all brought to you by the NC Beef Council. Beef, it's what's for dinner. The winner will receive a gift card to First Hand Foods. First Hand Foods sells pasture-raised, local meats from North Carolina farmers. And remember, beef, it's what's for dinner. Now let's jump into the big three at 3, starting with number 1.
Number 1.
NHL schedule release day. Now, I thought what we'd do is look at the schedule that the Carolina Hurricanes will play this year and go through each game and decide whether they are going to win, lose, or tie. No, I'm kidding.
I like it. That's the whole show right there. It's just predicting the season.
Starting with the preseason. No, we're not going to do that. Matter of fact, I want to make this clear. And this is one of those years for the Canes. The regular season schedule looks great. There's long homestands. There's some road trips. You're going to be on the East Coast. You're going to be on the West Coast. Teams will come play you at home. We'll break it down. Right? You know what a schedule looks like. This is one of those years for the Canes where they can't prove anything in the regular season. This year, this schedule, it's just a mechanism. It is a piece of transportation to get us from the offseason to the postseason. When you are an Eastern Conference Finals team last year, and then you add 2 of the biggest names of the offseason, yeah, I'm not going to be impressed if you win, you rattle off 5 straight wins in the regular season. So take that with a grain of salt when you hear everybody breaking down the big games of the schedule reveal, because I'm looking at it and going, they're going to win some. They're going to win a lot. They'll be near the top of the division. They may not win it, but they'll be near the top. And it'll all come down to what they do in the second round of the postseason and beyond.
I think a lot of Hurricanes fans over the past 3 seasons have begun to realize that the regular season is nothing more than a litmus test.
It's entertainment. I mean, which is awesome, by the way. I enjoy watching the regular season games. I enjoy analyzing and breaking down the regular season games. And some seasons, I think this past season was one where the regular season meant something, right? Because they had moved on from guys. They had so much new. There were pieces that were shuffling around. That like this season, there was reason to watch. Next season, I'm going, all right, we're watching everything through the lens of what does this do to get you ready for the postseason?
Through rose-colored glasses, right? That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting.
I don't know if it's rose because I'm not going to look at everything optimistically. But if they lose a game and it's just a regular season loss, right? They have 15 back-to-backs. It's the second half of a back-to-back on the road against a team you don't see that often, and you have bad puck luck, right? You have a lot more chances you just don't win. I'm not going to react to that at all because I'm going to try not to react to that at all. No problem. You guys might have to check me on that because I'm looking at it going, no, that game won't be the reason they lose a series, right? That's just a long regular season. Now, if there's a game where a top line doesn't look like they have good chemistry. If there's a line, an injury, or if there's the goalies start crumbling a bit, like then there are things that I would look at and go, that makes me worry for the postseason. But if it doesn't impact my postseason, I'm not getting worked up about it. However, with that said, I did circle 3 games.
Okay.
The home opener versus the Devils, Thursday, October 9th. Can't get here soon enough. The opener's always exciting, right?
You guys will probably be out on the plaza. Or most likely will be on the plaza.
Barring weather, I can't think of a reason why we wouldn't. 7 o'clock puck drop, Devils at home, beautiful. January 6th is the next game I have circled. January 6th. Now, there's a lot of January 6th jokes. I'm not going to go there. All I'll say is that's the return of Mikko Rantanen. That's when Dallas comes to the Lenovo Center. The place he did not want to be. Well, guess what? You're really not going to want to be in the Lenovo Center this year, Mikko Rantanen. I assume there will be quite a bit of booing. I assume there will be quite a bit of physical play in that one. And then the last one that I have circled is December 23rd. That's when Florida comes to town.
Yep.
That's when Florida comes to the Lenovo Center. Now, that is the ultimate, regular season doesn't matter because it's not like if you win that one or if you're more physical or whatever there, that it does anything to avenge what happened in the Eastern Conference Finals, right? Because the Eastern Conference Finals are so much more important. But I still want to land punches. Even if it's just a jab in the opening round, I still want to land punches on Florida. It's a mental game when you're chasing a team that has a couple of cups on their mantle.
One of the games that I have circled for selfish reasons, but also for big picture Hurricanes reasons, is November 28th, Friday after Thanksgiving, 5 o'clock game against the Winnipeg Jets. On my birthday, we get to see Ehlers go up against his former team. Now, I want to see if his level of competitiveness, hopefully it's off the charts by then, but let's see if it really rises to the occasion.
That seems more cordial. So I'm thinking that's more like you want to beat your friend because you're still in a group chat with them and you don't want to hear about it every day. But we'll see. That's number one. Let's get to number two of the big three at 3.
Number 2.
MLB All-Star Game was last night, and it went to one of the coolest tiebreakers we've seen. First of all, really exciting game. Right, 6-0, the comeback ends up 6-6. They go to what could have been extras, but instead, 3 hitters. Each team, 3 swings. Whoever has the most home runs is the winner. Kyle Schwarber goes bang, 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 and they end up winning. Schwarber goes 0 for 2, I think, with a strikeout, and he's the MVP because he hits all the home runs in the extras. I just have one complaint. Just un complaint, to use one Spanish word that I know. Put the biggest stars in the final derby. In the home run derby, whatever you want to call it, to win the game extra inning style. If it's 4, right, you put Mizorowski in the game because it's an exhibition and you want the coolest, most exciting players that make the biggest highlights in the game. Put Judge, Shohei, Vlad Guerrero, put the ones we want to see, Cal Raleigh, put those guys in the home run derby to finish the game.
Just like in a shootout in the NHL, right?
If it's a shootout you're trying to win, you put your best shootout guys. If it's an all-star game shootout, I better see Sidney Crosby. I better see, they'd obviously likely be in there anyway. But you want the biggest stars in the league, right? You want McDavid or whoever. That's again, it doesn't matter who wins the All-Star game. So if it's going to be for the fans, make it for the fans. That's number 2. Let's hit number 3.
Number 3.
We got some insight into the Carolina Panthers wide receivers and quarterback Minnesotan retreat.
Oh, this was awesome.
Minnesotan retreat. Actually, bring up the Xavier Leggett because we don't have enough time to break down the football of it here during this segment. But it takes, I don't know what it is. Okay, some people are just likable. Xavier Leggett is one of those guys. He's having a big summer as far as gaining fame. He's on hip-hop album covers. He's the NFL social correspondent at the Kentucky Derby. He's on his horses. He's everywhere. So they're out on a Minnesotan lake, land of 1,000 lakes. Adam Thielen out there. That's his off-season home. They're on a lake. Xavier Leggett is being encouraged to jump in the water off the boat. And, well, you hear how it goes a little bit on a video posted by Tedero McMillan. Here's Xavier Leggett.
Hey, I'm in now. Come on, all the way. Come on, do a little jump. Well, I'm scared of this. I swear to God. Bro, I promise you ain't even going to go barely down. I can't feel at the bottom of it. No, there ain't nothing down there. What the? You ankle deep. Brother, you can hold on to the board. You can hold on to the deck. Come on, that's wow, come on, bro. You right there. And you got the rope, too, bro. Yeah. And that's all you get.
All right. Basically, he was terrified to jump in the lake. He doesn't like swimming when you can't see the bottom.
Just straight vibes right there. It just reminds me of me and my buddies hanging out, like on a boat or something during a summer day.
You're afraid to swim?
Well, no. I mean, like the laughter, the camaraderie.
Yeah. The one guy that's a little scared. He's going to take some ribbon from his buddies. I think that's more important than most people do. Just that entire trip, and we'll talk about it as it goes along from football reasons. But Xavier, you can't take it's a Tedero McMillan vlog. Okay, McMillan is the one who's posting the video. It's like 19, 20 minutes. It's a whole behind the scenes. But even when it's McMillan's blog, Xavier Leggett's in it as much as anybody. He's the one that you walk away remembering. He's magnetic and he's likable, and if he ends up putting together a good season, meaning Leggett, he's going to be a superstar.
And honestly, Bryce Young too. Bryce Young had some big moments during his blog too.
His more serious. He's just a more serious dude, right? He's like giving a young person advice, and that's his star turn in the video. And Legette's star turn is being terrified to go 2 feet off a boat in a lake when all his buddies are already out there swimming. It looked like fun. And again, I'll tell you maybe like kind of crazy how important I think those trips are. But we'll get to that as the show goes along. Right now, when we come back, I feel like I'm doing a lot of defending of the Carolina Hurricanes. There was another shot from a national media member at the Carolina Hurricanes, and on NHL schedule reveal day, I've got to do some defense. Stick around.
Maxed out on credit cards, struggling with high interest debt? You can pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated the kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Loan Pronto, instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is A+ rated by the BBB and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Their service is off the charts. Call now to start the conversation. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760. Get debt relief now. loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 166171 on approved credit. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Hey, Joe Fortenbaugh here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sportsbook for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with the promo code JOEQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Some things can steal your sunshine. Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Stanley, long pass across for Ehlers. He's back against Sanderson. Ehlers cuts into the middle. Scores!
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. All right, there's a phenomena that happens in sports that for some reason is attacking the Carolina Hurricanes a little early. And maybe a little is the wrong word. Maybe a lot of early. In sports, there's a very, very predictable, particularly professional sports, but high-level college as well. There's a very, very predictable storyline, which is as you are rising, as you are building, especially if you started off as a not very good team, everybody loves you. Everybody jumps on board. Think of the Washington Commanders right now, right? They were bad for so long. They get the quarterback. There's good vibes. All this now, like the national media loves him, right? He's a top 5 quarterback. He's the best quarterback in the NFC in Jaden Daniels. And is any of that true? Probably not. But everybody's just excited. And then as you keep building, you almost become everybody's second favorite team. Think of where the Detroit Lions are. Right? Everybody's like, well, if we don't win, it'd be nice if Detroit does because they're doing something special and it's been a long time. And then you win. Right? And if you win, meaning the championship, that starts the clock on. You have like 2 or 3 more years before everybody starts hating and nitpicking. And everybody starts looking at everything you do and they don't like it. Think of where the Chiefs are. Right? Now all of a sudden the Chiefs can't do anything right. For some reason, I just use the NFL as the example, but it happens in every sport. For some reason, the Canes are all the way at the end, but they haven't won yet. Everybody, they don't have the championship. This core doesn't have the cup. They don't have the hardware, yet they're so nitpicked by the national media. Everybody wants to jump on them the same way everybody wants to say the Chiefs and Kelsey's too old and they're overpaying this guy and it's not going to work and it's not going to work and, how bad was it in the Super Bowl? And it's going like, okay, like I get it, but if you have the rings, if you have the championships, you can eat all the negativity because you got the ultimate mic drop. You got the response. The Canes are there. It's as if they've won like 3 of the last 5 titles and everyone's tired of them winning. There's an article right now up on The Athletic written by Shayna Goldman, which is basically she's emptying her NHL offseason notebook, right? She's just like, hey, I've got all these things here. I'm going to dump them about every team. And most of it, quite frankly, is roster management, right? It's will anybody offer sheet Mason McTavish? Will anybody, or not anybody, but are there, could the Sharks trade a defenseman is one. I'm just going to scroll through them right now. Goalies, right? The what are we talking about here? Scrolling too fast. Got to go back up. Bowen Byram extends in Buffalo, right? There's Luke Hughes. What does his next contract look like? They're all basically contract items. And then the last part, the Penguins have 3 goalies. Do they decide to move one? Then the last one randomly, right? Has nothing to do with contracts, nothing to do with potential moves, nothing to do with offer sheets. It's just the Canes need to let Nikolai Ehlers cook. And the description is, right? The Canes have this system that they play, right? This Rod Brindamore system that they play. And it's great, right? And it gives you an identity, even as players turn over and there. But then here's where it turns. As much as the Canes, this is direct, I'm reading from the article. As much as the Canes have a knack for maximizing players within their system, not everyone fits perfectly. Mikko Rantanen didn't. Neither did Martin Necas. So when those situations arise, the question is whether the players should change their game to blend in more or if the coaches should let those players color outside the lines.
I mean, is this right or not taking into account that Mikko Rantanen didn't want to be here to begin with? So
Mikko didn't want to be here. Say it loudly, say it slowly.
And then also for Martin Necas, it kind of felt like he did have one foot out the door, but
No, here's what it is. Mikko Rantanen didn't want to be here. He could have fit in. Matter of fact, if you go watch the 12 games, 13 games, whatever he played, he was getting good shots. They were not curtailing him at all offensively. They weren't. And Martin Necas, trust me, do you think they were like actively telling him not to use his speed to carry the puck into the offensive zone? Of course not. Should the system bend towards the player, not to make them more lazy? This is the way it is. This is the way I see it. This is the way I've always seen it. You can do whatever you want, essentially. If you're good enough and you're skilled enough, you can do whatever you want as long as you do what you need to do, right? If you back check, if you play defense, if you do the things they ask you to do, calling that a system is even ridiculous. If you play hard two-way hockey, you're going to be allowed to take your shots. You're going to be allowed to score your goals. You don't, it's not a bending, right? Oh, they have to allow Nikolai Ehlers to do what he does. No, Nikolai Ehlers has to do what the coaches ask him to do. Because that's how sports work. Because that's how darn near everything in life works. In any team scenario, you have your responsibilities, and if you take care of your responsibilities, that's where you can freelance if you're going to freelance. Right? Trust me, nobody is going to look at Nikolai Ehlers and have him use his speed to cross and put pressure and mix up the defensive assignments of the opponent and get a good shot off and go, that's not Canes hockey. I hope he stops that. No, as long as he's hustling and doing what the Canes ask him to do, and it's the same for Necas, and it would have been the same for Mikko Rantanen. A system does not. And the system they play, which, by the way, the Florida Panthers play very similar and other pretty good teams have used, it doesn't ask you to take away what's special. It just asks you to do a few other things in addition.
One of the big things, conditioning.
Condition, yeah.
Condition well.
Like and by the way, like that's team sports. I can't emphasize that enough.
That's why you have training camps. That's why you have summer workouts.
It's as if you're looking at like a running back. Okay, you're looking at, just because the NFL is about to start up, we're a week away from Panthers training camp. Imagine if you look at a running back. I don't know, someone, I'm going to use the best example. Someone like Jahmyr Gibbs. Okay? Jahmyr Gibbs is special. He's fast. He runs. He catches. And imagine saying, like, well, I don't know, the Lions ask their running backs to pass block as well. They ask them to be in pass protection. Jahmyr Gibbs, he's special at things other than pass protection. What's going to change? Are they not going to ask their running backs to pass protect, or are they going to use what Jahmyr Gibbs is special for? And I'm going, well, that's the thing, right? If he's going to be out there on third downs, he's going to have to pass protect, and then he's going to have the opportunity to do what he does special. Nikolai, it's not either or. Right? It's not like, will Ehlers play like a Kane, or will he be able to get up and down and score and be more creative offensively? It's he could play like a Kane and do all of the things that makes him special. And by the way, they wouldn't have paid him $50+ million to bring him in and tell him not to do the things that he's good at. The system gets over talked about. And maybe it's part of our problem because I get defensive about it and I'm like, the system can work. Look at the Panthers. The system gets over talked about. But good players make good plays in hockey, right? That was, hard-hitting analysis from me. My point, like, there's nothing that says you can't be creative or use your speed. Like, there's nothing that says you have to chip the puck in and then hope for a lucky bounce. They're like, no, if you can possess it and get in there, go for it. And the more you do that, the more you'll be allowed to do it. I will say this about Rod Brind'Amour, and sometimes I wish it would accelerate, but people are the way they are. He is very much a I have to trust you guy, right? And once you have the trust, he's loyal to you like a best friend. But it is like, I'm going to give you a little bit more responsibility. If you make good on him giving you responsibility, he'll give you a little more. And if you make good on it, he'll give you a little more. And if you make good on it, it's not, all right, you're here, go. There is a on-ramp towards those relationships. And then once he trusts you, bada boom, bada bang, you're like in the club, right? It's like you're a made man. It's like a mob story, right? Now you're in. Now you're swearing omerta, for those of you that, there's a great book called The Five Families. It's long, but then you'll know everything about the mafia. Once you're in the family, you're in the family. So maybe early on, Nikolai Ehlers isn't going to be trusted to freelance as much. That's not this system won't allow him to. That might be well, we gotta get to know each other first, right? Like let's get the trust there. But there's no doubt in my mind, once he earns that trust, there will be nothing inhibiting him from cooking, so to speak.
I mean, for a guy like Ehlers, a winger, I would think he would thrive in this system or want to play in this system just because heavy on the forecheck, allow you to obtain possession of the puck, get it back out to the blue line, and then get in front of the net and
he's going to
hopefully get rewarded.
He's going to be playing alongside Sebastian Aho. The biggest negative I had for Sebastian Aho this year was he passed up too many of his own shots to set up his teammates. If you're Ehlers, you got to be going like, that doesn't sound like a problem to me.
This is going to be the year where Sebastian Aho becomes super selfish.
Yeah, now
I'm kidding. I'm joking.
Now he's pump faking passes to like clappers from the blue line ring. No, here's my final point here, okay? My final point is very, very simple. If Nikolai Ehlers is scoring goals, they will let him keep scoring goals. So can we stop with the nitpicking? Can we stop with all of the flaws the Canes have? They're still on the ascent. They were bad a decade ago. I don't know why everybody in the world isn't saying, if our team doesn't win, Carolina would be a pretty good one to win. The same way it works for the timeline of every other team. They've been working really hard. They deserve it. They've got something cooking over there. Obviously I'm rooting for my team, but Carolina, if not then us, then that'd be pretty cool. Instead, they're just catching arrows. I don't get it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The Dean's List I do get. That's very simple. That's more optimistic and positive. We're giving flowers to those in the college sports world. Coming up next.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here for my good friends over at Law Tigers. One thing that I'm looking forward to is getting back out there on the motorcycle. This weather over the last few weeks, it stinks. All the heat, the rain, the humidity. It's not great for motorcycle riding. I'm excited to get back out there on the road, but I have to make sure when I get back out there on the road that I'm doing all the things properly. I have to make sure my bike is in proper working order before I even get back on the motorcycle. Is the tire pressure good? Is my bike washed? Believe it or not, washing your motorcycle frequently is actually something that is great for you as a motorcycle rider because it helps prevent from all the gunk and buildup in your engine and your brakes. Make sure the bike is in proper working order. But if you're injured in a motorcycle accident, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. Again, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS is the number to call. 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. Again, North Carolina's motorcycle injury lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
It's bow time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do you get? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone, available for a limited time. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time, but sometimes it's go time. No time to stop, but the perfect time for a Bojangles Bird Dog. A seasoned to perfection Bojangles Chicken Supremes, dill pickles, and Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, all tucked inside a toasted bun. Great on the go. Try 2 bird dogs for just $5 or 2 bird dog combo for just $8.25. Available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
Hey, daydreamer. Did we catch you thinking about your dreams? With Wells Fargo Premier, a team can help you plan for them. So let's imagine your biggest dream. Not the easy one, the one behind it. The one you work towards every day and every night. Can you see it? Then we can help you plan for it. Ready to start planning for your dreams? You can at wellsfargo.com/getpremier.
Hey, listen to this. All I needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things, like these new windshield wipers from eBay I installed.
From small fixes to big upgrades, eBay has all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Aloha! Dreaming of sandy beaches and ocean breezes? JTV's Tropical Treasure Sweepstakes could make that dream come true. Enter for your chance to win a fabulous Hawaiian getaway for 2 with luxury accommodations, airfare, and spending cash. Plus, just for entering, get $30 off your next qualifying JTV purchase of at least $99 when you opt in for emails. Don't miss out. Visit jtv.com/sweeps and enter by August 3rd. JTV, where paradise awaits.
Has rallied in the swing of the Bryce with the hat trick. Look out, Chop House. National League takes the lead 4-3.
Unbelievable.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That was the sound of the All-Star game last night. And now it's time for the sound of the school bell that puts the Dean's List in session. Dean's List, where we highlight those in the college sports world, the high school sports world, the academic sports world that deserve a little extra praise, a few extra accolades. And the first one, have you ever have you ever heard an idea that someone else came up with and you're mad that you didn't think about it? You're like, how did I not see it? It's like it happens like twice a show when you're watching Shark Tank. Somebody walks in with an idea and you're like, I have that problem and I could have solved it too. Well, the Senate Bill 657, so I guess it's like the state Senate of North Carolina, is who's on the dean's list here. We'll put the bill. The Senate Bill 657 is on the dean's list. It would set aside $11 million if it's approved and it goes through all the processes. $11 million in sports betting tax revenue for middle and high school coaches' pay. It would guarantee that every middle and high school coach at public schools in North Carolina would make a stipend of at least $3,000 per season. Genius. Genius.
Teddy Bridgewater's probably feeling like how you do when you watch Shark Tank and see a problem like that.
Why didn't I think of that? It's so good because people see gambling, sports gambling, which is now legal in North Carolina, as like everything wrong with sports. So what kind of a mental pretzel would it put you in if the sports gambling, everything wrong with sports, funds everything that's right with sports, which would be, it would make it more logical, more plausible for good coaches to pass along the life lessons that are learned at the middle school and high school level. Whether they go on to college in the pros or not, the students will benefit from that. That's genius. It's genius. It's a little bit Robin Hood-like we're taking the dirty money from these gamblers that are risking everything, but we're giving it to like the purest form of sport, which is middle school coaches. High school coaches, which, by the way, $3,000 per season. I mean, I played college sports three seasons. I know the commitment those coaches make, their time away from their family, the time simply spent with the team and also preparing for. $3,000 a season, I think we can make work. I think we can make it work. We can take it out of the gambling money. And then you can feel just a tiny bit virtuistic. You can feel a tiny bit philanthropic when you lose a 7-leg parlay on the last one. You're like, well, at least some of
it's going to a good cause.
At least some of that money is going to pay for the local middle school tennis coach. You know, those kids, they're gonna have better uniforms next year because I went ahead and lost. Do you have a Dean's List member you'd like to throw out there?
Yes, I actually have Wes Moore from NC State women's basketball, just because he picked up one of the what some people are saying is the best big in women's basketball from the transfer portal. Vanderbilt transfer Camille Pierre, 6'2" forward from Phoenix, is regarded as one of the top forwards. After averaging 20.4 points and 9.6 rebounds per game last season, she has 2 years of eligibility remaining at NC State. This is big for Wes Moore just because he lost a lot of offensive firepower in that Final Four team from last year.
Wes Moore, worthy addition to the Dean's List. Last one here we'll give you. Actually, we have two more if we have time. Reese Brantmeyer, who is I believe a rising senior tennis player for the North Carolina Tar Heels. She is the reigning ACC Women's Tennis Player of the Year. Her lawsuit against the NCAA looks like it will be allowed to advance. Judges are saying, like, we're going to hear the case. She first filed a federal lawsuit in North Carolina against the NCAA in March of last year over the organization's restrictions on individual athletes keeping prize money won in outside competitions. So, for example, when she was in high school, she qualified, I believe, for the U.S. Open as a high school junior, where she made she didn't make it. She would have won $50,000. She was forced to turn down most of that to preserve her eligibility for college. Now that NIL is legal and players can make money, they can go sign endorsements, they can go do all of this other stuff, it is still illegal for a golfer to go play in a PGA event and win, accept the money, they would lose all their eligibility. A tennis player, you can't win prize money. How backwards is that? a player, a basketball player per se, could sign $1 million contract with a shoe company, and when they are not playing college basketball, go walk on a runway for Nike and get paid $200,000 for it. But if a tennis player is invited and earns their way to a major, goes out there and finishes in the money, they can't accept any of it and keep their eligibility. So Brant Meyer is simply saying, let us make money like they make money. Their sports are high, like there's not as much NIL, there's not as much endorsement money in tennis, but we have prize money. Let us go win it. I know why some are against it. I'll give you the one sketchy piece, and I don't even think it's sketchy because you know how I feel. I've never seen a problem with players getting more money. But basically, if she wins, if this goes all the way up the ladder and she wins and prize money becomes legal, you may start seeing like bowl games come with a cash prize to the winner. Or, basketball tournament, those, the Battle for Atlantis or whatever they are, may come with, and the winning team gets $50,000 a person. I guess people are against that. Again, I don't know why, because what does a player getting $50,000 have to do with and making your life less enjoyable? Last one here in the Dean's List. Arch Manning. Arch Manning, for this reason, there is a way to handle nepotism when you are the one benefiting from it. And I want to emphasize this because we've learned from some emails that have been revealed how it is being handled at the University of North Carolina, right? Remember, we found the emails, not we, there were Freedom of Information Act requests put into Carolina, meaning the Tar Heels, about all the relationships and talking and emails about Jordan Hudson, Bill Belichick's girlfriend. And one of the things she was emphasizing was, don't refer to Bill Belichick's son, Steve Belichick, who's the defensive coordinator, as Bill's son, right? Emphasize and don't link the two because he is he's earned the title as defensive coordinator and he's this accomplished. Don't ignore it. Don't ignore it. If you earned or if you were given something through nepotism or you were given a leg up because of your last name or because of who your family is, don't ignore it. Arch Manning did perfect. Arch Manning was at the SEC Media Day. There's the presumed starting quarterback of Texas. I have a quote here for it, right? Because he talked about how he's one of the betting he was asked about all the hype around him, how he's one of the betting favorites for the Heisman, how he's so celebrated. And his quote was, "It's weird. I really haven't deserved any of this. So just trying to play along and play ball." Just admit it. Look, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve this attention. I'm going to work as hard as I possibly can to do well and everything along those lines. But yes, I've been given more attention or I've been given more opportunities because of my last name. It wasn't as hard for me as it would be for somebody else who isn't in my family. Say that and then go out and work as hard as you possibly can. We see it in Hollywood, right? There's some actor, and there's a billion of them, that both their parents are actors and they got their start as a child actor. Now they're, 20-something and they're starring in movies and people are talking about it. They're like, I've earned everything. It's like, no, yes. Okay. You work hard. You do your part. I get it. You started on third base. Don't ignore it. Don't deny it. Acknowledge it. Just say, yeah. I have a ton of advantages that a lot of people don't have in trying to pursue my dream. I just want to play ball. I just want to act. Can you imagine if Arch Manning was sitting there and he did what UNC in the emails was talking about? I would not like to be addressed as Peyton and Eli's nephew. I want everybody to emphasize that I worked very hard at the high school, that the weight room and the locker room all have my uncle's names on it to turn myself into a starting quarterback. And it's like, yeah, no, I know you worked hard, but acknowledge the other thing too and we'll be cool. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Let's dismiss the Dean's List so I can tell you all about Miller Lending. Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. Now, we all can't be Nepo babies, right? We all can't be trust fund babies where we just have millions of dollars waiting in a bank account for us just for being born into the family we are. If you do, good on you. Maybe you can go buy a house in cash. For the rest of us, oftentimes our house, our home, is our biggest investment. And the mortgage plays more into that than you think. The payments plays more into that than you think. What's a good investment? What's not? How much can we afford? What are interest rates? And the brutal truth is we can't predict interest rates as much as we want to. How awesome would that be, first of all? Hey, next year, July, rates are going to drop 3 points. Rent until then buy because your rate will be lower. It'll save you X amount of dollars. You wish, but we don't. We can't. It's impossible. Nobody can predict the markets like that. So instead, call Miller Lending, and they'll set you up with a no-cost loan. That's no costs, no fees, no closing costs, no surprise surcharges, none of it. Now, that way, whatever the rates are now, if they do drop next July, or 2 months after that, or 2 years after that, or 4 years after that, anytime rates drop, you can refinance again with no costs, no fees to you. Just get the lower monthly payment. It allows you to kind of be, I mean, it's not predicting the future, but taking advantage of the future regardless of what happens. Because obviously if rates go up, your rate or your payment doesn't because you already locked it in. And you get to save that big fat check at closing because there truly are no closing costs. Gordon's been doing this since 1987. That's Gordon Miller, and he has perfected it. So give them a call and let them pass that experience along to you. 919-447-3377. And when you call, you'll talk to someone here locally. They're locally owned right there in Cary. 919-447-3377 or visit them online at millerlending.com. That's millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 2502146. We'll take a break. When we come back. ACC, they champion themselves as the conference of quarterbacks. Are they missing a word in that description? Stick around.
It is I, Juan Carlos Santiago del Santiago, the coolest man in the world. Yes, I am back in Raleigh. Do I go downtown with so many places to party? No, I go to the Sharky's place. The good food, the fine drinks, the coldest of beers, and of course, the many, many beautiful people. I always hang at the Sharky's place, the coolest bar in the world, because, well, it was built for me. Juan Carlos Santiago del Santiago, the coolest man in the world. The Sharky's place, 8800 de Raleigh Road by the Shelley Station.
The golf season is here. Time to upgrade your game. Head to Global Golf and explore Carolina's largest selection of pre-owned golf clubs. Whether you're just starting out or a seasoned player, our expert staff will get you fit. Are you ready to trade in your current clubs? Global Golf makes it easy to trade in your previously played equipment and upgrade to your next set of clubs. Visit Global Golf today, located on 7320 ACC Boulevard, North Raleigh. Global Golf, home of the best deals in golf.
And we're back talking all things connectivity with Spectrum customers Kev and Melissa. So tell us, how long have you been with Spectrum and how important is a reliable internet connection?
We've been Spectrum customers since we moved 12 years ago. The first thing we did is sign up for Spectrum Internet.
You get a lease, you get Wi-Fi.
Yes,
immediately.
We need that. We had Spectrum Wi-Fi before our couch got here.
That's true. That's a true story.
I'll sleep on the floor, but I won't go to bed with no internet.
You heard it here. Switch to Spectrum now.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Two running back set. Bailey keeps. Bailey dives to the end zone. Touchdown! NC State! And now the fireworks go off on time.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. You have 13 more minutes to text in BEEF. BEEF, that's the key word, to our text line, 919-860-5326, if you want to be in the pool of contestants that we choose from to select our finalist in our Win Your Weight and Meat competition. We will call one lucky texter today at 4 o'clock, and if they pick up, which they have to do, so keep your phone on once you text in beef. If you pick up, you'll jump on air with us, answer a quick question, and you will be one of our 10 finalists, of which one will be randomly selected to win their weight in meat. Next Monday is when we're doing the drawing for the winner. They will win their weight in meat. The winner will receive a gift card to First Hand Foods. First Hand Foods sells pasture-raised local meats from North Carolina farmers. The entire contest brought to you by the NC Beef Council. Beef, it's what's for dinner. Text it in now, 919-860-5326, keyword beef. Transitioning here, we have the ACC Media Days next week, right? Last year was, I believe, the first time I had seen the branding. We were at ACC Kickoff, Media Days, and they do it well, all right? The ACC spends some money. They get the big banners, right, for backgrounds and pictures, and they pass out the propaganda, right, the brochures and things and the name tags. And one of the things that they championed themselves as was the Conference of Quarterbacks. And the reason why I remember it is because they included all of the NFL quarterbacks that had come through the ACC, right? All of the accolades won by quarterbacks at the ACC. And I remember seeing Aaron Rodgers and going like, okay, kind of, right? Because Cal's now in the ACC, but
I mean, I guess, yeah,
like,
technically.
Okay, fine, right? It was like Jared Goff. I'm going like, fine, right? So I remember it, right? Conference of Quarterbacks was a thing. And I saw again this year, they're kind of agreeing with it, right? They're kind of rolling with it. Conference of Quarterbacks, they're sticking with it, which makes sense. Again, last year, Cam Ward, number 1 overall pick from the ACC, quarterback. So they're doubling down. I think they might be missing a word. The ACC is promoting themselves as the Conference of Quarterbacks. What about the Conference of Transfer Quarterbacks? What about that? Because Chip Patterson, shout out to Chip, friend of the network, joins Adam Gold quite a bit.
He was just on the Adam Gold show this afternoon.
There you go. It's a Chip Patterson Wednesday. He wrote an article about the SEC, the Southeastern Conference, the enemies, if you will, having 8 of the 10 betting favorites to win the conference. So 8 of, if you look at sports books, the betting favorites to win the SEC are quarterbacked by players that joined them straight out of high school, including the top 7 entirely. The top 7 teams in betting odds to win the SEC are quarterbacked by players that committed and joined them straight out of high school, which goes against kind of the trend in college football. The amount of, if you look at like 5-star and 4-star quarterbacks over the last 10 years, the amount that finished at the school they started at gets smaller and smaller and smaller than you could ever imagine, the percentage. So I was like, wow, maybe that's changing in college football. Maybe NIL is allowing them to convince players to stick around rather than bouncing around to chase options. But I looked at the ACC. The ACC top 10 betting favorites are Clemson, Miami, in order, by the way. Clemson, Miami, Louisville, SMU, Georgia Tech, Duke, Florida State, NC State, UNC, and Pitt. Miami with Carson Beck, Georgia Tech with Haynes King, Duke with Darian Mensah, Florida State with Thomas Castellanos, UNC with Gio Lopez, Pitt with Eli Holston. Those are all transfers. Maybe not this year, right? Haynes King feels like he's been at Georgia Tech for a while, but he started at Texas A&M. They're all transfers. Clemson has a homegrown, SMU has a homegrown, and NC State has a homegrown. That's pretty much it. And by the way, like North Carolina State's is pretty young, right? There's still a lot of chances there for guys to move on depending on how it goes. Clemson, Cade Klubnik, he's an unusual one, but also he's been starting very early. Transfer quarterbacks. There's by the way, there's more than one way to skin a cat, right? But that might be the ACC's lane. We talked about this with Joel Bryan of High School OT when he joined the show the other day, talking about North Carolina, meaning the state of, producing more 4- and 5-star recruits this year than any in kind of immediate recent memory, and meaning this is the 2026 recruiting class, and only 2 of the top 20 players in the state are committed to in-state schools. And one of the conversations he brought up was, well, yeah, but look at what happened with NC State. A bunch of 4- and 5-stars left. They went to Oklahoma, or they went to Ohio State, or these other places. And then not this offseason, but last offseason, They transferred back to NC State. The Noah Rogers of the world, right? A 5-star wide receiver goes to Ohio State, is there for a year, transfers to NC State. It could be the ACC's lane. And what I mean by that is, if you can't keep up with the money offers to guys out of high school, you might have to wait for them to go somewhere and not have the best time or get a little homesick and then bring them home as transfers. And the same could be true for quarterbacks. The top quarterbacks in the country, I'm sure, are getting money that is beyond our wildest dreams coming out of high school. If you don't want to pay all of that to an 18-year-old, wait a couple years. Because the Texas A&Ms and the Georgias are not just bringing in 1 5-star every 4 years. They're bringing in 3, 4, 5 stars every 4 years at quarterback. And when 2 of them aren't going to play, they're going to be looking for homes. The ACC can be like right here. Then you develop them, you give them their reps, and they go top of the draft. There's nothing wrong with being the transfer quarterback conference, but it is a different business plan, right? Or you can do the opposite, right? You can depend on Tulane or South Alabama to find the diamonds in the rough and develop them, and then once they're efficient and ready to play, pluck them, bring them on over to your conference, a.k.a. Darian Mensah and Gio Lopez, 2 guys that'll be starting, at least expected to, right here in the triangle. How lovely would that be? You just use farm systems. You don't have to grind them and put them in a weight room and get them up to size and up to speed on everything. You let someone else do that and then just bring them in, pay the money there. That might be a more efficient way of spending money. I'll tell you how my college career went. I walked on at the University of Delaware. You know what they told me? Put on weight. I rolled up there. I was like 6'3", 175 pounds. I was wiry. That's the best way you could describe it. String bean, probably better. Right? I was very, very small. Put on like 30 pounds my freshman year, and that's not an exaggeration. I used to set an alarm at 2:30 in the morning to wake up, pound 2 peanut butter and jellies in a bottle of water, and go back to sleep. You know who did not like me very much? My freshman year dorm roommate, who had to hear an alarm go off at 2:30 followed by eating peanut butter. Did not like it. But imagine if Delaware could have sent me somewhere else, waited for me to put on the weight, waited for me to learn how to watch film, waited for me to develop, and then brought me in a couple years later. Meanwhile, they used that roster spot on someone else. Maybe that's the ACC way. Because there's only so many high school recruits that are ready to like start as freshmen, right? By the way, Clemson's a different beast. Like Cade Klubnik was one of those guys. Right, one of the top recruits in the country, he could have started as a freshman. Darian Mensah probably wouldn't have gotten the starting job at Duke right out of high school.
C.J. Bailey's just kind of the rare commodity right now in the conference.
C.J. Bailey, and who knows how C.J. Bailey plays out if Grayson McCall doesn't get hurt.
I was going to say, but also he didn't really have a choice.
If Grayson McCall doesn't get hurt, and now C.J. Bailey has an entire freshman year where he doesn't have the opportunity to play, who knows, right? Who knows? You'd like to think he would stay, but that's the hypothetical we'll never know the answer to. ACC, the conference of transfer quarterbacks, it doesn't roll off the tongue as well, but there's nothing wrong with it as long as it works. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The Minnesotan retreat. The Panthers, Carolina Panthers, quarterbacks and wide receivers got together for a Minnesotan retreat. I think that's more important than it probably seems. And also more important than it probably seems, everybody that texted in beef to 919-860-5326 trying to be a part of our Win Your Weight and Meat competition, keep your phone on right now. Know where it is. Listen for the ringer. Because you might just win your weight in meat if you answer the phone, or at least be a finalist. Stick around. We're going to get a finalist on the line coming up next.
You've got rhythm. Your heart's got rhythm. Then one day your rhythm's off, and you've got AFib, atrial fibrillation. The good news is you've also got an AFib center, where specialists in AFib have multiple treatment options for you. Want more good news? Most of them are minimally invasive. Learn more at wakemed.org. And what do you say you and your heart get the band back together?
Did you catch Luisito's header?
Yeah, I just recorded it on my new Samsung A36 5G phone I got for free at Total Wireless.
Oh, I'm actually live streaming the whole match with my new Samsung Tab A9 that I also got free at Total Wireless.
I got that tablet too.
And I got that phone too. We both got both.
Go!
Switch to Total Wireless and get both the Samsung A36 5G and the Samsung Tab A9 for free. For a limited time while supplies last, valid in store. Requires new phone activation on the Total 5G Unlimited plan or higher external port and ID verification and new activation on the Total 5G Unlimited 6-month tablet plan. Restrictions apply.
Bank of America is the nation's leading business lender, and we're ready to help with your next goal here in the Triangle. That's why we have over 3,700 local business specialists across the country. Because with the right team, your business and community prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Longer days mean longer rides. Make sure your bike, your ATV, your side-by-side, even your golf cart are the best around. From sound station and security, we've got custom stereo systems, custom speakers, even video and LED lighting options for your bike, your ATV, and even your golf cart. Look the coolest on the road or at the lake, just tooling around. All available with installation from Sound Station and Security, with 2 locations, downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Online at myhotsound.com.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Midday Wednesday in the mid-to-upper 80s with highs today in the low 90s. Partly cloudy with a few hit-or-miss showers and storms. Lower chances Thursday. Thursday begins in the mid-70s with highs in the mid-90s. I'm meteorologist Chris Michaels in the WRAL Severe Weather Center.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is up 210 points at 44,233.
Let's move the chains. Time for Football at 4.
Before we get to Football at 4 here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan, Mark in Morrisville can follow instructions. We told all of you to text in BEEF to 919-860-5326, and you'd have a chance to be a finalist in our Win Your Weight and Meat competition. And we told you to keep your phone on where you'd hear it at 4 o'clock every weekday. And that's exactly what Mark in Morrisville did. Mark, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you.
The only thing you need to do to officially be registered as a finalist is let us know your weight. How much are we working with?
I just clocked in at 216.
216. Solid number. That'd be a quite a prize. You are officially a finalist. All you have to do now, and it's the same piece of advice I give all our finalists, so it's fair, is make sure you have your phone on with good connection somewhere you can answer at 4 o'clock on this upcoming Monday, July 21st. That is when we will call randomly one of the 10 finalists, of which you are one of. So keep your phone on this Monday, and hopefully we'll be giving you a call.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
All right, stay on the line. Graham has to grab some info from you, but you are a finalist. Everybody else, there's 2 more chances. If you want to be like Mark and be a finalist, 919-860-5326 is the number. BEEF, B-E-E-F, is the key word to text in. All brought to you by the NC Beef Council. Beef, it's what's for dinner. And don't forget, the winner will receive a gift card to First Hand Foods. First Hand Foods sells pasture-raised local meats from North Carolina farmers. Again, the keyword beef, the number to text it to, 919-860-5326. Then keep your phone on somewhere you can hear it tomorrow and Friday at 4 o'clock. Might just be a finalist. All right, The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is 4 o'clock, so it is time for football at 4 every day, every show. We talk pigskin at 4 o'clock. You can set your watch by it. Today, I feel like I'm going against type here. I'm going against what you'd expect from me. Most off-season news, I downplay. Most, you see a clip of somebody running a route against no defense at mini camp and everybody gets excited and I go, chill. You hear an anecdote about a player who, started eating vegan and is in the best shape of their life. I go, chill. Right? We're so hungry for news in the offseason that I think we overplay a lot. That's not to say it's not worth anything, but those things, they're treated like a 7 out of 10, and they're probably a 2 out of 10 on the impact scale. But these quarterback wide receiver retreats, I think most people treat as a 2 out of 10, and I'm thinking it's like an 8 out of 10. I'm going reverse. For some reason, and I'm not even going to say for some reason, for a lot of reasons, the players-only workouts that they do between when the coaches can see you, right? The mini camps, the OTAs, coaches can be a part of that. Training camp is coming up in a week, literally a week from today for the Carolina Panthers. And between that, there's this chunk of time when you get together just as the players. I think that's really important. And it happened recently for the Carolina Panthers. They had a 3-day players run workout and hang session in Minnesota. I was in Minnesota because that's where I believe the richest amongst them, Adam Thielen, has his offseason home. And by the way, that's usually how it goes. A lot of times it's the quarterback because they got money, but Adam Thielen's been in the league a long time, so him hosting makes sense. The attendees. Let's go through the attendees. Let's work through the basics here. The attendees, based on, by the way, all of this is from a Tetaroa McMillan YouTube workout vlog. I guess he's going to be number one wide receiver, red zone threat / YouTuber. So his workout vlog showed the weekend or the week, the 3 days. The attendees, Tetaroa McMillan, Adam Thielen, Xavier Legette, David Moore, Jimmy Horn Jr., Kobe Hudson, Jatavian Sanders, the tight end, Bryce Young, quarterback, and Ethan Garbers, third-string quarterback. Notable absences, Andy Dalton, Jalen Coker. And I guess the rest of the tight end room, Mitchell Evans. But there's, I'm not going to be as upset at that. I am surprised Jalen Coker wasn't there. I assume he had something. Not going to, absolutely crush him for it, right? If you got life, it's the offseason, right? You might have to go attend a wedding or be at a family thing or anything else important. Andy Dalton, I'm surprised, but also I get it. If he's like, no, I'm going to let Bryce lead this one. I don't want to step on toes. What did they do over the weekend? There were workouts every morning and early afternoon. There were like gym workouts in the morning, routes in the early afternoon, out on the field, throwing, all that sort of stuff. They went to a WNBA game. They went to do some water sports on the lake, right? Wakeboarding and that kind of stuff. Now, this is where I think it's important. I don't think there's a huge advantage to working out in the same gym together, right? I don't think there's a huge advantage to I squatted in the squat rack 2 feet away from where you squatted in the squat rack. I don't think there's a mass Bryce Young throwing more slants to them. I don't think that matters. I think it's the social element. A season is a long time. You have to find a way to like each other.
It's the camaraderie.
It's the camaraderie, but it's even more than that. It's shortening your communication. It's trusting that you like each other. Might even be putting it too simple, but it's trusting that somebody doesn't have it out for you, right? It's trusting because there are moments in a game where emotions are going to get high, and it's much, much easier to deal with if you know the other person better. If a wide receiver gets open on 3 consecutive plays and the ball doesn't find them, they have to know it's not because Bryce Young is taking care of his friends. They have to know they'll work on it. And if you're open, that they're going to do what they can to get you the ball. It's real easy to take things real personal in the heat of a game. And then it's the communication thing. One-word communication only works with friends. right? If somebody is complaining to you and you give them an I got it, if you don't know that person, they don't know what that means. Right? I got it. If you know the person, the way they say it, the intonation, the inflection, you can end the conversation there. It's like, okay, he heard me. He knows what's going on. He will do what he thinks is best for the team based on the information I just gave him. Also, you have to know the personality. How, for lack of a better term, arrogant is a player. Because I'll tell a story. And actually, I'll tell a couple stories here from my playing career. One is I had a wide receiver who was, I don't want to say arrogant's the wrong word, but this dude thought he was pretty darn good. Okay, I'll put it that way. He's one of my better friends, so I'm not knocking him for it. But I had to learn that when he says, this guy can't guard me, he's terrible, the guy that he's playing against might be going to the NFL. The guy that he's playing against might be like a third-round draft pick playing FCS ball. He just says that about everybody. Right? And you got to learn which ones are trash talkers in that way and which ones aren't. Because then there's other wide receivers that would come up to me and go, hey, listen, this guy can't guard me. He's terrible. And I would go, oh, we got to get him the ball. Because the guy, he's telling me and it's true. There are others where I look at it and I go, all right, yeah, okay, gotcha. Means nothing, right? He thinks he could be lining up against Sauce Gardner, the highest paid defensive back in the history of the NFL. And he would come back to me going, he stinks. He's awful. But I wouldn't know that if I didn't know his personality. So I might throw him a jump ball against Sauce Gardner because he's telling me the guy stinks. Communication only happens like that when you know each other, when you're around each other. I used to have the entire offense over to my house, my off-campus apartment, or my off-campus house that I shared with a bunch of teammates. A few times in off-season, we'd grill. I'd get burgers and dogs and just tell everybody, hey, bring some chips or bring some drinks or some ice or something. And we would just sit around. We'd hang out just because being around each other is so good. And that's what Tedero McMillan was saying on the workout vlog. Bring up the clip of him saying, talk about building his relationship with Bryce. Tedero McMillan is new. And there's no get ready time, right? Week 1, when they play their game at Jacksonville, there can't be a miscommunication because he doesn't know who Bryce is. Here he is on McMillan is on building that relationship with his quarterback.
Building a relationship with Bryce has been easy just because, he's a Cali kid himself. So I feel like we got a lot of similarities. He's a humble dude like myself. I think me and him have the same aspirations. He's going into, I believe, his 3rd year. And, sky's the limit for him.
Yo. Aggie, the outs on Aggie.
My energy and his energy only going to motivate each other, and hopefully, we can spread that throughout the team and see how far we can take it.
There's work to be done building that relationship. There is. They can say they're from the same place, and they know there's work to be. I mean, I believe he's going into his third year. You better know he's going into his 3rd year, right? And that could just be a turn of phrase. I'm not going to dive into that too much, but I'm saying your number 1 wide receiver and your quarterback, I mean, they should be invited into each other's weddings, like that kind of deal.
And also that timing between the two and the connection and the chemistry has to be down to a T. So that way, McMillan knows that when he's running around and he takes those 5 steps, he's going to turn around. The ball is going to be right there.
And there's training camp and there's OTAs to work on all of that. But you're right. And there's kind of 2 things you have to fine tune. You have to fine tune the football, and you have to fine tune the social, the relationship. Because guess what else is going to happen? Like Bryce Young's going to throw an interception that loses a game. I don't know if it's this year. I don't know if it's multiple times. I don't know if it's week 1. I don't know if it's week 7. But Tom Brady did it. Peyton Manning did it. All the greats at some point make a mistake. If you play the game long enough and if you play against good teams enough, you're going to make a mistake that loses you a game. How does your teammate react? It's think of it like this, because this is how it feels. It is this important. If you get in a fender bender, okay? You're driving somewhere. You're it's important. It's a meeting, right? It's something that matters. Person rear ends you. If it's a stranger, you get out furious. What are you doing? Were you texting? Right? You're happy you're safe, but you're mad at them. You get out and it's your best friend behind you. Oh, man, you're more forgiving.
I don't know. Some of my best friends, I might still would get out and have that saying.
Or even better, you could get mad at them. You can yell and scream, but because they're your best friend, you know you're still going to be able to make your way through it, right? That sometimes you need to be honest, right? You're being duh. Like my point is the relationship is important for those two guys and for the others, right? And for all the wide receivers in the room. When you walk off the sideline and you go like, hey, what were the safeties doing? I didn't see. Whoever the backup is better be watching and better give you good information, and you better trust them. Those get-togethers matter more than you think. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we take a break, I want to remind you one more time, text in beef to 919-860-5326. You heard it just a couple minutes ago. We qualified another finalist for our Win Your Weight and Meat competition. We'll do it again tomorrow. And if you've already texted in, you can text in once per day to get additional entries. Beef is the key word. 919-860-5326 is the number to text it to. It is our Win Your Weight and Meat competition. We will take a break. When we come back, Graham and I go at it one-on-one in the ladder challenge once again, and we hit it and quit it. Stick around.
Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Loan Pronto. Folks, are you struggling with that high-interest debt? Maybe you're maxed out on credit cards. You can pay it all off in just a matter of days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That is a massive turnaround. Instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. Folks, your home equity, it's yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Call now to start the conversation. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760. Get debt relief now, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166171 on approved credit. NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Move your sports day forward.
You've been to the restaurant with the good food but the terrible service and atmosphere? That's the WNBA right now. Good basketball and the rest is a mess. The expansion franchises, junk, players criticizing officials, getting into fights, no suspensions. Commissioner Kathy Engelhardt has lost the locker room. She needs to go.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
Hey, it's Paul Ihander from 99.9 The Fan for Clayton Homes. The Sign and Save sales event is happening now at Clayton Homes and Oakwood Homes, but only through August 31st. You can save up to $5,000 instantly on your new home. That's $2,500 off a single section or $5,000 off a multi-section home. Discover the comfort, the style, and the value of a Clayton-built home, crafted with North Carolina in mind. From modern floor plans to energy-saving upgrades and premium finishes, there's a home fitting your lifestyle and, of course, your budget. And with summer heating up, it's the perfect time to enjoy energy-smart features for year-round comfort and savings. Stop by, tour our fully furnished models, or visit manufacturedhomeoffers.com and browse limited-time deals. But don't wait. The Sign and Save sales event ends August 31st. Terms and conditions for the Sign and Save sales event at manufacturedhomeoffers.com. Available only at participating retailers through 8/31. Amount of savings may be limited. Ask for details. May not be available with certain financing. Lender restrictions apply.
Off the play fake, Herbert to throw. Herbert looking to the near sideline. Herbert's under pressure. He breaks away from Cloudy. Throws on the run. Intercepted! Jaycee Horn at the 40-yard line.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We are 1 week away from Carolina Panthers training camp getting started. And thank goodness, because if you're somebody that likes to gamble, it's hard not to feel like you are really scratching the bottom of the barrel at this time of the calendar. There's not a lot of options out there. The jokes will roll in, right? Like if you're betting too much on NBA Summer League, you may want horse racing.
We can't even do that in North Carolina. Table tennis.
If you're betting too much on sports that you don't know much about, you might want to reevaluate your gambling habits. But pretty soon we'll have football, we'll have college football, we'll have Major League Baseball starting back up after the All-Star break. There's some other things, but for right now, the ladder challenge is going to get a little wonky. So let's fire it up.
Yeah, I'm going to be completely honest with you, Tim. On day 3 of doing a ladder challenge, it's not that I don't enjoy it. It's just, we are really scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Well, we both did hit our over in strikeouts yesterday, both the starting pitchers. So I believe I made a little bit more money. So I may have won yesterday. But today is a new day. And as always, our guest, meaning the producer in the producer musical chairs, gets to go first. What is your first $10 bet, Graham? First $10 bet.
My first one, NBA Summer League, Phoenix Suns at Minnesota Timberwolves. Give me Kamal Malawach to score 15 or more points, plus 150. Starts up right here in about 30 minutes, actually.
You're thinking just lobs and dunks because that was Malawach a lot in college.
You saw how much his emotions came out of him, right, when he was drafted. So I feel like when you have your emotions pour out that much, you're going to go all out, even if it's a Summer League game. So Kamal Malawach, 15 or more points, plus 150. That's my first one.
I've talked about this a few times. I'm fascinated by the offensive ceiling of Kamal Malawach because when we were at the ACC tournament, right, the way it works out is like our studio, right, because it was in Charlotte. Our studio was in the building, so we were in the building all day, which means we got to see the warm-ups, we got to see all that kind of stuff. And kind of during the early warm-ups before Duke game, I think it was after like the intermission, right, where they switch over, whatever it was, Malawach went out there, and I was just sitting courtside doing some work, and he drilled like 5 consecutive threes and kind of did a little around the world thing and was shooting threes at an impressive clip. And my mind just wandered to like, what if this dude can stretch the floor at 7'2", with the wingspan, with the athleticism, with the quick feet? I don't know if he's already, first day of Summer League working in the three-point shot, but there's more potential there than I thought. He's more than just a rim runner and a rim defender. I'll go with the NBA Summer League bet as well to start things off. I'm taking the Thunder minus 9.5 over the Pelicans. Straight up, give me the Thunder and I'll give the points. The Thunder are 3-0 this Summer League, winning by an average of 15.3 points per game, which just tells me, right, they just won the NBA championship. They're so darn good that their young guys might be good enough to step up, but there's just no spot for them on the roster, so they're playing Summer League. I don't know. They got 1 billion picks. They're good top to bottom. OKC Thunder, and I'm giving the 9.5. That's minus 110, by the way. So 10 to make 19, or it'll return $19.09.
I'm going to go to the WNBA for my next one. Give me Sabrina Ionescu for the New York Liberty. I might just butcher that name. 19 or more points.
Sabrina. That's
Sabrina
Ionescu. Yeah.
Did I say Ionescu?
I think it's hard to say.
Either way, as long as
Ionescu.
she wins me money, I don't care.
She is the.
That sounds like the ultimate degenerate sports gambler right there. I apologize.
No, she's a star. Her shoes, she has a signature shoe, are like I want to say like the 7th most worn shoe in the NBA. Like NBA players are wearing her signature shoe. She's a beast.
Well, hopefully her awesome shoes will lead her to 19 points, so that way I can win some money. Minus 140 for her to score 19 or more points. Liberty playing Indiana tonight. So Caitlin, I almost said Sabrina again. Caitlin Clark out with another injury.
Yes, and she looked very, very in pain and also sad by the injury. If you saw, there's some social media clips of her tweaking. I think it was a groin injury she tweaked, but she looked pretty distraught that it happened near the end of the game. I'll go to a WNBA game as well. Give me Paige Beckers to score 20 or more points tonight against Vegas. Plus 140. Her actual over-under for player points, I think, is 17.5. I've teased it up to 20 because I'm becoming a bigger Paige Beckers fan. I wasn't like when players go to UConn and you're a women's basketball player, I'm like, all right, you're just trying to go, it's going to be a lot of other good players there. You're going to win. Congrats. But I like the players that go somewhere else and blaze a trail. But now that she's in the pros, she's being overlooked. Everybody wants to talk Angel Reese. Everyone wants to talk Caitlin Clark. Everyone wants to talk Asia Wilson. Paige Beckers. I don't know. I'm just becoming a fan because now it feels like she's an underdog, even though she's like the number one recruit in the country that went to UConn and was drafted number 1 overall. Plus 140 for her to score 20 or more against Vegas. 10 into $24, and that's what I'm rolling with.
Last one here. I'm going to add in some local flavor. Charlotte FC versus DC United tonight. I think it's DC United. Either way. This game's on the fan. Again,
you can hear it right here, yes.
Yeah, you can hear it on the fan at 7 o'clock. Both teams to score minus 160.
Okay, just both teams to score.
Just both teams to score.
All right.
I'm going to be very upset if it ends 0-0, but...
What if it's a 4-0 win for Charlotte? That'd be awesome, right?
I mean,
you'd have to be disappointed over it.
It'd be awesome. Yeah, I would have just emotionally hedged myself.
Last one here. I don't know if this will be over by the start of the next show, but I'm going to count it anyway. The way this works, I don't know if I gave the details for those of you that are new here. We each get 3 bets, $10 each. Whoever has the most money tomorrow is the winner. The Open Championship begins tomorrow. And due to the time difference, it starts very early. So I'm hoping the first round is over at some point during the show tomorrow, so this counts. Rory McIlroy to be the leader after the first round.
Oh, gosh.
Rory grew up 60 miles away from this course, Royal Portrush. He finished, third, tied for second last week in the Scottish Open. He's unsorting the mental scramble that his brain has been in since he won the Masters. Rory to be the leader after round 1. He almost always is not, but that's why I'm getting it at plus 2,000, $10 into 210. If that hits, I'll coast to a victory against Graham.
It would not surprise me if all your other bets hit and then the Rory one's the one that digs you in the hole.
Nah, that's fine. I'll still be in the positive, right? Hey, you can't go broke making a profit. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's the ladder challenge. We'll see who wins between Graham and I. I believe we're expecting Dennis back tomorrow, so we will get at least maybe. Yeah, who knows? It's been a long time. But then we'll go the rest of July for a month-long ladder challenge.
Dennis is going to be back tomorrow.
Hopefully. I mean, yeah. I guess I don't want to jinx things. That's the ladder challenge. Now here on The Drive, let's jump into Hit It and Quit It. Hit it and quit it. Now, Graham has a list of things we're going to hit and quit. I want to start with one real quick here, though, so I'll get the first one off my chest. Nick Carboni, the WCNC sports director up there in Charlotte, tweeted out a quote from David Tepper today. The Charlotte Football Club, which you were just discussing, you can hear it right here on 99.9 The Fan. Tonight they are playing, who are they playing?
DC United.
DC United. You can hear it right here. Is also owned by David Tepper, who owns the Carolina Panthers. Charlotte will be hosting the 2026 MLS All-Star Game, bringing a big event to Charlotte. The quote Nick Carboni tweeted out is, "This is a soccer city." I hope the owner of the Carolina Panthers means this is also a soccer city in addition to being a football city, because let's be real. You own the Carolina Panthers.
How does that make you feel, Mr. Tepper?
This is a soccer city is what David Tepper said. Hopefully just caught up in the All-Star game coming, because let's have a little bit of awareness. Read the room. All right, that's it. Let's quit that one. Let's hit this. What do we got for us, Graham?
I'm going to start off with a professional sports team as well here in North Carolina. Of course, around 1 o'clock, the Carolina Hurricanes announced their schedule for the 2025-26 season. A few key games I just want to go over, of course. Opening night.
Yep.
Thursday, October 9th, all things permitted.
Home game.
8
of 9 years now that they've opened at home.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly and Dennis Cox will be live outside Lenovo Center at the Plaza broadcasting. Then Saturday home games, Saturday night in Raleigh, you can't beat it. 10 Saturday games at the Lenovo Center this season, including October 11th against the Philadelphia Flyers, Rod Brendamore's former team they used to play with before the Hurricanes. You can't forget about the State Fair trip. After that Saturday, October 11th game, the Hurricanes play 6 consecutive road games. Carolina returns to the Lenovo Center on October 28th against the Vegas Golden Knights. Home cooking, Hurricanes play 7 consecutive home games from November 26th when they start off against the New York Rangers, so around Thanksgiving, through December 9th. Carolina has home games the night before and after Thanksgiving. Ringing the new year, Carolina hosts the Montreal Canadiens on January 1st. Olympic break, NHL players are competing in the 2026 Winter Olympics this year from February 6th through February 22nd. Hurricanes play February 5th against the Rangers again, but that time in New York, and resume the season February 26th versus the Tampa Bay Lightning in Raleigh. Then the regular season finale, the Hurricanes close the season with 4 consecutive road games. The season finale is April 14th against the New York Islanders.
That the last part I'm gonna talk about. First of all, great job breaking down all the big games. The end of the season is quite fascinating. You mentioned they end with 4 games on the road. 15 of their final 23 games are on the road. So, as we've seen a few times, right, you can be at that point in the season and almost throttling down because you've already secured a seed or you've locked up a playoff situation, or you could be at that point in the season gunning it because you're chasing a seed or you're chasing home ice or you're chasing a playoff spot or a division or some other goal that you're chasing. So it'll be very interesting if they are in some kind of a race and the games that are going to decide it, right? Who gets home ice or who wins the division or whatever. If it all comes down to kind of games down the stretch, because they're going to be playing a lot of those on the road, where I think you would really like to be playing those games in the friendly confines of the Lenovo Center, especially if your splits are similar to last year. Because remember, last year they were one of the best teams, if not the best team in the league at home. Not nearly as good as far as winning percentage and goal differential and everything else on the road. So I guess, the way to do it is to be so far ahead by the time you hit the final 20 games of the year that that brutal road stretch doesn't matter as much.
We're going to stay on the Carolina Hurricanes for our next hit.
Hold on, I didn't say it yet. Let's quit that. Let's hit this.
Apologies.
No, you're good. I just wanted to do it. It's fun.
The Hurricanes are keeping 2 players who made their NHL debut last season in the organization, one being forward Skylar Brindamore, the son of Coach Rod Brindamore, if you didn't know already. Defenseman Dominic Fensor also signed 2-way contracts with the Hurricanes, the team announced today. Brindamore, who's 25, played 2 games with the NHL team in mid-April last season. I believe one of them was the last 2 games of the regular season.
Scored a goal.
He'll be paid $775,000 when in the NHL or $90,000 in the American Hockey League, with at least a $100,000 guarantee. So good for him to be 25 years old and one, be the son of Rod Brindamore, but also making that kind of coin.
Now, we talked about it earlier, right? Nepotism is a thing, right? Last names matter. I wouldn't run from it if I were Skylar. I would simply say, yes, my dad is the coach. Yes, that my last name being Brindamore does give me a little bit more attention. I'm going to work as hard as I possibly can to make good on the attention I get for my last name. He's, by the way, solid AHL player, a guy who's kicked around in other systems as well, not just the Carolina Hurricanes. So, that gives you a little bit of legitimacy when you haven't only been kept around by the team that your dad is a part of. But it's going to be a part of his story, right? So that should be part of the motivation, right? You're cashing a $100,000 check this year. People are going to assume part of that is because of your dad. Whether it's true or not, they're going to assume it. So work as hard as you possibly can to make them eat their words. That's the only thing I can think of. And then Fensori also played last year, right? So good for him. Stick around. Depth piece in the system. I don't expect either of them to make big NHL waves. Let's quit that. Let's hit this.
Moving on to college hoops, specifically women's basketball. The NC State women's basketball team landed one of the top players in the transfer portal yesterday, a boost to the program that lost several key contributors after last season's Sweet 16 loss. I know I said Final Four early in the program. My apologies. Thinking to the glory days of NC State basketball. Vanderbilt transfer Camille Pierre, a 6'2" forward from Phoenix, is regarded as one of the top forwards in the country. She averaged 20.4 points and 9.6 rebounds per game last season. She has 2 years of eligibility remaining for Westmore's squad.
You have to. The crazy part is once you, I don't want to say once you, because NC State women are a solid program, but when you make it to a Final Four or when you have a little bit of momentum, you have to cash in those hype chips right away, right? There's the college sports world moves faster now than it ever has. Right? Teams are built in 1-year increments. You're not even, it used to be like, we got a good freshman class, we got a couple good sophomores, hopefully 3 years from now, we're going to be a national title contender. That doesn't happen anymore. Now we were good last year, we lost this many draft picks, they're gone. We need to reinsert talent right now. So, yeah, there's a lot of shots available for NC State. You assume NIL money is going to be supported for ACC basketball. Got to go get your players. Camille Pierre being, a 6'2" forward, transfer from Vanderbilt. Looks like it's a good one. I'd be lying to you if I pretended to know or watch a ton of Vanderbilt women's basketball last year. So part of it is just, trusting the experts that say this is big news. Congrats on the get. Let's quit that. Let's hit this.
How you doing?
This one involves some local ties here. Bill Belichick has rarely reacted publicly to comments made about him by Patriots owner Robert Kraft since the two parted ways, 18 months ago, however long, after their 24-year time together in the dynasty that they built in New England. But on the heels, see what I did there? But on the heels of recent comments by Kraft that he took a big risk by hiring Belichick in 1999, Belichick responded in a statement to ESPN that it was he who took a big risk by joining a failing franchise with a few resources that was $10 million over the salary cap. I find this funny that he responds to this and nothing about the Jordan Hudson stuff. Actually, let me try this again. As I told Robert multiple times through the years, I took a big risk by taking the New England Patriots head coaching job. Belichick told ESPN in response to questions, already had an opportunity to be the head coach of the New York Jets, but the ownership situation was unstable.
One quick, I just want to make sure everybody, because when you read quotes sometimes, if flailing was the word there. I think
flailing. Excuse me,
not failing, which it kind of sounded like for Graham, but it was flailing. It's not much better, but I just want to make sure we're being completely accurate. This is frustrating to me. Okay. The fact that Kraft and Belichick can't acknowledge the truth, okay? And it's the same thing with the Brady-Belichick thing, which is it was all y'all. Football is the ultimate team sport. And when you get to the professional level, it's almost more than the ultimate team sport. It's the ultimate franchise-wide team sport. So when people are like, was it Brady or Belichick? I'm sitting there going, if you think either would have had as much success as they did without the other, you're crazy. The first Super Bowls that Tom Brady won had some of the best defenses we had seen in a long time, and the offenses weren't that great. Some of the later Super Bowls they won had some of the best offenses, some of the most advanced decision-making by the quarterback we've seen in a long time, and the defenses weren't that great. You won't have both without the other. Same thing here. Robert Kraft took a chance on Belichick. They did a whole thing, right? He was not a good head coach for the Cleveland Browns. He took a chance on him. He brought him in. And also, Bill Belichick took a chance on a franchise that wasn't doing that well. It's both. It's all. It's one of the points I make about a lot of arguments. A lot of the mindless debates that sports media and sports fans get into, and I sometimes get caught up in. I think we're conditioned by the games, meaning we watch sporting events, and there's a winner and a loser, right? If I watch a football game, when I tune into Week 1, Carolina Panthers against the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Panthers will either win or the Jacksonville Jaguars will win, and the other will lose. So then we're conditioned by that when we go into conversations like this, that like Belichick and Kraft both can't win the debate. There's no scoreboard here. You're on the same team. You can say, I was awesome. I took a big risk. I knew what the Patriots' potential was. And Kraft can also say, I'm awesome. I knew. I saw all the potential in Bill Belichick, and you can both be right. It doesn't have to be Kraft, awesome, big winner, Belichick, bad, big loser. You can both win. Brady, awesome, great quarterback. Belichick, awesome, great coach. Which one was it? It was both. It was both. Is the Rolling Stones Mick Jagger or is it Keith Richard? No, it's Keith Richard on guitar, Mick Jagger singing lead vocals. That's what it is. It's not either or, it's both. That's the juice. That's the magic. And you know what? They're all probably the same age. Bill Belichick, Robert Kraft, Mick Jagger, Keith Richards, they're all getting up there. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Let's quit that. Let's hit this.
Phelan, not Phelan. My apologies.
Phelan.
Someone at the SEC League office, Tim.
SEC meaning Southeastern Conference?
Correct. Might be worried for their job after an inexcusable, what I'm calling Lone Star State blunder.
I don't know what this is. I haven't seen it.
As Texas Longhorns head coach Steve Sarkisian walked out to address the assembled press during SEC Media Days on Tuesday, he strode on stage to his rival's music. As captured by Texas A&M beat writer Travis L. Brown and later shared by On3, Stark marched on to the Aggies fight song, not the Longhorns. The incident made a humorous visual, but it didn't seem to faze Sarkisian at all. In fact, the Longhorns coach didn't even address the blunder when he took the microphone. Perhaps he's hard of hearing, but maybe he didn't want to draw attention to an innocent mistake. But this seems like it'd be a slam dunk media moment for most coaches. Like, could you imagine?
So basically, somebody thought that the Texas A&M fight song was the Texas fight song.
Correct. And I guess SEC, for those pointing back behind the curtain, that ACC Media Day next week, each coach is going to go up into the press conference room and have their own questions and answers before they break off to meet with the Assemble Radio Row. SEC, I guess, as just a nice little touch, does the coach of the team's fight song. Imagine Dave Doran goes up next week to ACC Media Day, and the ACC decides to incorporate this, and they play UNC's fight song by mistake.
I have to be honest.
Imagine the reaction that he'd probably give.
Well, first of all, yeah, Dave Doran, salty Dave would emerge. But do you know what I bet happened? I wouldn't be surprised if Sarkisian didn't know Texas A&M's fight song. He may have just thought they were playing college football fight songs on the way up. I'm as big a college football fan as I know. I know Delaware's fight song because I had to sing it after every win. I know Rock Chalk Jayhawk. I know a few others, but I'm not sure if I walked up there if I would know. Our rival was James Madison. Our rival was Villanova. I don't know their fight songs. If I just walked up and heard music playing, I'd be like, all right, they're playing music. Maybe that's the ultimate zing. It's like, oh, I don't even know anything about you, right? That's the ultimate, you know everything about me. I know nothing about you. But that is funny. And it's also a sign. You know what it is? Let's take a step back. Let's look at the bigger picture real quick here. That's what's wrong with conference realignment. They have such little history in the SEC. They don't know anything about Texas. They probably were up there making the hand signal like they were the Wolf Pack rather than the Longhorns. They're probably up there doing the shaka, right? The hang loose, thinking that's the Longhorns because they don't know Texas.
Well,
that never happened at the Big 12 Media Days, did it? Because they know Texas.
Apologies to whatever SEC fans out there listening right now, but I'm ACC homegrown. Who's Texas's rival? Is it Texas Tech or is it Texas A&M? Who do they usually play during rivalry week?
Oklahoma.
It's Oklahoma.
Yeah, Red River shootout / they don't call it that anymore. Red River rivalry.
But who's their second? Their second rival?
Probably Texas A&M. I'd assume A&M.
I was going to say,
but it's Oklahoma.
Well, maybe if Texas is the one that's winning, they're not even having to worry about listening to Texas A&M's fight song when they're on the road.
I just don't. I think it's funny. I think it's a mistake by the SEC. I think somebody will be double checking all, the files that they play. Right, the music files, the MP3s are going to be labeled in big letters next year, like Texas, not Texas A&M. They're all going to be super labeled, but. I think it's probably just like fans know that kind of stuff, and a coach, they're not worried about the fight song. I will say when teams have songs that they play after touchdowns and you get smoked, that song is stuck in your head for a long time. A long time. And it stinks. That's brutal. Same song over. When you see the band like, oh, we got to play it again, and it's their touchdown song, you're like, oh, this is not going well for us. Not even a little bit. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Maynard Service Company. You don't hear Maynard Service Company getting tired because they're 24/7. Tim Donnelly here for Maynard Service Company, the company that can fix your heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical systems, and as you heard me say, 24/7 all across the triangle. That is something that you don't think you might need until you absolutely need it, right? Something you take for granted. 24/7, what? No, I don't need it. Till you hear a drip and it wakes you up and you're looking at your ceiling going, what water is coming out of our ceiling? That's when Maynard Service Company's 24/7 policy really becomes something you're super excited about. There's nothing like waiting for the morning and not knowing what's going on. I've been there, by the way. Right? You shut the water off to a part of your house, maybe the entire house, and then you got to wait the 6 hours for the plumber to get there. Yeah, I wish there was 24/7 Maynard Service Company at that point in my life. They work all across the triangle, and not just for those emergency situations in the middle of the night when something breaks and it's a catastrophe. Yes, they are there for that, but also for things like cooling maintenance, right? If you're running your AC a lot, because it's about to get real hot up and down the East Coast, according to the meteorologists, you might want to give Maynard Service Company a call, have them check out your cooling system, make sure that everything's running the way it should. There's nothing in there that's going to be a problem. Because the best time to get your cooling system looked at by Maynard Service Company is like 3 months ago, before it started getting hot. The next best time is right now. Give them a call, whether it's an emergency or you're just setting up some maintenance. 919-361-0993. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electric. 919-8, or some, I almost gave you our number. 919-361-0993. Or if you want to look them up online, MaynardServices.com. That's MAYNOR services.com. You ever have an idea that somebody else comes up with that's so good you're mad you didn't come up with it? That happened for me earlier today. I'll tell you the idea coming up.
Golf's final major will be found on 99.9 The Fan. Listen all week long as we cover the British Open from Royal Portrush. Depend on us for leaderboard updates and every big moment through the presentation of the Claret Jug.
Xander Schauffele is the winner of the 152nd Open Championship.
Coverage of the British Open on 99.9 The Fan is teed up by McConnell Golf, where members experience 17 club properties across 4 states with 1 membership.
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait 1 sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
Specialize in keeping your building moving with top-tier repair, maintenance, modernization, and installation. Our highly trained technicians deliver fast, responsive service to ensure your elevators run smoothly. No surprises, just results. Trust Raleigh's own Metro Elevator to keep you moving. Learn more at metro-elevator.com/Raleigh.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. There we go. All right. Cut the music. I got something important to say. I am mad at myself. I am jealous that I didn't come up with an idea I heard earlier today. An idea so good, I want to co-opt it as my own. Instead, and I don't know who came up with it first, but it has been proposed as part of the state, the government. Senate Bill 657. Senate Bill 657. I'm going to give you the idea of it. The numbers. Who cares? What it would do is take money generated by the state from the taxes on gambling, sports gambling tax money, and they would siphon it off to middle and high school sports coaches. And just that logic right there made me go, that's genius. Genius. Pass it through. I wish there was like a express option for passing bills where you could go, this one doesn't have to be voted on. It's too good. Accept. The actual numbers, $11 million. It would set aside $11 million in sports betting tax revenue to guarantee that every middle and high school coach at public schools in North Carolina would make a stipend of at least $3,000 per season. Now think about that first of all. There are coaches out there putting in the time, the effort, the sacrifices necessary to coach a high school sports season that their stipend isn't $3,000. It's not even close in some cases, $3,000. Now, I've said this a billion times. I am a firm believer in the importance of sports for the youth. From Little League all the way up to high school. I think you learn great life lessons. I think you learn how to work as a team. I think you learn how to overcome adversity. I think you learn how to lose. I think you learn how to win. I think you learn how to work hard. I think you learn how to set long-term goals and chase them. I think there's so many good things about sports, and I think a quintessential part of that is good coaching. Because if you have a bad coach, and we've all had them, those lessons aren't learned, right? You don't learn how to work well as a team because you don't have the right leadership. You don't know how to work together for a common goal because the coach isn't being equitable, like whatever the bad is, right? Whatever the bad is, however they're bad, it doesn't work. And the only way you get and keep good coaches is make it worth their time. Now, here's where I'm going to try to add my 2 cents, right? It's a great idea. Take some of the gambling tax revenue, give it to middle and high school coaches. Fantastic. But I don't want to stop there. I want to keep it going, right? So here's how if I were the North Carolina super czar, right? I don't know, the person that gets to make all the decisions in our state, if that place exists and somehow I win the election. It's not an option, but hey, I would take the money earned by the state from tax revenue, sports betting tax revenue. And I'm dividing it up into 2 places. One, I'm giving it to the state schools' athletics programs to cover revenue share. As much as I can give them, right? As much as I can give them, I'm giving it to UNC, NC State, Charlotte. I mean, we can go on and on down the list. As much as they need to be at least competitive, if not very, very good in their NIL support, in their revenue share support. And the rest I'm giving to high school and middle school coaches. Because the way you use sports to create young people that are more prepared for life is kind of 3-pronged. 1, get them interested in sports. Okay? Because no matter how great the coaches are at the middle and high school level, if you don't have players signing up to try out, if you don't have young people interested in participating, it doesn't matter. And the way you build up that interest is by having good teams in the state. The way you do that is by supporting the in-state colleges. So take some of the sports gambling tax revenue, give it to the revenue share, then those teams will be good enough to build up fans they'll want to play. Now you got young people being physically active. You got young people learning the lessons. Second, create opportunities with as few barriers for entry as possible to play sports. right? I like everyone else know, and you thank your parents for doing it, but there are huge, sometimes costs and time sacrifices to participate in all of the youth sports. The travel for travel ball, the equipment, the entry fees, all of it. Now, one of the beauties of oftentimes school sports is those entry fees are much less, right? To be on a high school team is much less expensive than being on like a super high level AAU team where you have to pay for everything. So schools. And then suddenly, I don't know, it started with the third, put great coaches in charge. Great coaches. And my guess is if you played youth sports, high school sports, there's at least a coach or two that when I say great coaches pops into your brain. And those coaches probably weren't getting compensated enough for the good they were doing with the young people. So if you can take the sports gambling tax revenue in the state of North Carolina and build up the college teams to build excitement for sports, and then you can take the sports gambling tax revenue, the other side of the split, and give it to the great coaches that are willing to sacrifice to make it more worth their while, you have a group of young people that will be better fit for life. I think it's darn near perfect. I think it's a darn – because the other thing you're doing is you're taking something that is often seen as a negative about sports gambling, right? It's the ugly part. It's the part that induces scandal. It's the part that you need to have gambling addiction helplines for, right? There's this other side of gambling that people see as negative, and you are taking the tax revenue from that and turning it into the best part of sports, the most wholesome part of sports. Right, all the 7-leg parlays on NFL football placed every Sunday could support the middle school softball and baseball coaches at a local high school for you. Where, who knows? North Carolina does produce a good amount of like future pros and all that kind of stuff. But even if you're not that, maybe in that middle school baseball and softball team, there's a person that learns, hey, if you face adversity, you got to outwork everybody else because I'm not that fast, I'm not that strong, and I want to be in the starting lineup. So I'm going to every day hit the batting cages and get better. Now that person becomes an adult. They're trying to get a promotion. They're trying to earn a job. They're trying to win over a client, and they may say, listen, the only way I'm going to do this is if I outwork everybody. So every day they're getting a little bit better. That's how it works. And I'm not being dramatic when I say it. I do think that's how it works. Gambling money to youth sports. Genius. Genius, I say. Senate Bill 657. It's not my idea, but it's a really good one, and I stand by it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I have another genius idea. Go to Bailey's Fine Jewelry, more specifically Fox & Bailey, their watch shop that's located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location. Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry, where you can check out their Omega Boutique. It is the largest store-in-store, as they call it. It's the boutique. You walk in, Village District location, look left. You'll see the Omega Boutique. My son calls it the Moon Room because they have the moon watches in there, the Speedmasters, legendary watches sanctioned by NASA, but also in there, because of the moon watch, they have a big wall-hanging piece of art that shows the moon. So my 4-year-old calls it the Moon Room. Go into the Moon Room and check out the Speedmasters, which I just mentioned. Maybe the most iconic watch I can think of. One of my all-time favorites. I call it a Grail watch. It would be a very, very awesome thing to add to my collection. Check out the Speedmasters. Check out the Railmasters. Check out the DeVilles, the Constellations. Whether you want a sport watch where you could throw it on like a rubber strap, or you want a dress watch with the metal bracelet, whether you want something a little bit maybe more businessy, go ahead and grab a Constellation, throw it on a leather strap. You can walk into any business situation and own the room. Check out the world times, the moon phases. I'm wearing a pilot's watch right now. I set it to keep the watch the time where I am, right? So would that be East time right now? I have a 24-hour clock that you can also read right on the face. I keep it on the time in Hawaii, which is a place I grew up. So I know kind of, what my buddies are doing at that point in time. It's a 2-time watch. Pilots watch, right? Because pilots want to keep their home time and the time that they're traveling at. There's so many cool things about timepieces. You can learn so much about them at Bailey's Fine Jewelry. They have the experts that will basically share their expertise with you. All you have to do is stop by the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location. Let them know you heard about it right here from me, Tim, on 99.9 The Fan. When we come back, it is time for the starting 5 at 5. We know when the Canes are going to open up their season. We know who they'll be playing. And I'll tell you next.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
Panthers training camp is almost here, and it's finally time, Panthers fans. Go all out to win. The years prior to this, it's about draft picks. It's about playing the younger guys, making sure they get their experience, maybe even above winning games. But this year, all of that changes. Dave Canales, Bryce Young, it's time to win.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
When it comes to restoring cars, Diego's got skills. And with Total Wireless in his corner, the whole world sees them. With the dual camera system on his new iPhone 13, he can take amazing car photos and post them on the fly with super fast 5G, and even turn this hobby into a full-time gig. His claim to fame? Claiming iPhone 13 with 5G on us. Get iPhone 13 with 5G on us when you switch to the Total 5G or 5G Plus Unlimited 3-month plan. Total Wireless, in your corner. For limited time while supplies last. Valid in store. Device taxes and fees may apply. Requires port in and ID verification. Restrictions apply.
It's bow time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do you get? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone. Available for a limited time. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time, but sometimes it's go time. No time to stop, but the perfect time for a Bojangles Bird Dog. A seasoned to perfection Bojangles Chicken Supremes, dill pickles, and Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, all tucked inside a toasted bun. Great on the go. Try 2 bird dogs for just $5 or 2 bird dog combo for just $8.25. Available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
The golf season is here. Time to upgrade your game. Head to Global Golf and explore Carolina's largest selection of pre-owned golf clubs. Whether you're just starting out or a seasoned player, our expert staff will get you fit. Are you ready to trade in your current clubs? Global Golf makes it easy to trade in your previously played equipment and upgrade to your next set of clubs. Visit Global Golf today. Located on 7320 ACC Boulevard, North Raleigh. Global Golf, home of the best deals in golf.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, Injury Lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it.
That one back, that one going, gone!
Go to RitchieLaw.com.
That's RitchieLaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike Mays. Any showers should die out once we get towards sunset. 77 for the low tonight. Hot tomorrow. Our high 95. It'll be breezy at least. Later in the afternoon, about a 40% chance for storms.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money at the closing bell. Dow Jones closes the day up 231 points at 44,254.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting 5.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan on a Wednesday. And it's not just any old Wednesday. It's a special Wednesday for hockey fans. Let's start the starting 5, starting with number 5.
Count them! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Stankoven with a drive. He scores! Martinook comes up with a loose puck. He feeds the rookie and Logan Stankoven's first goal in the playoffs with the Canes.
The NHL schedule release happened today. About 1 o'clock, everybody knows when every game is, so you can start planning trips and everything and buying tickets and knowing when your favorite team's going to be in town and all those sorts of things.
Heck, start tailgating.
I mean, it is nice to know that Game 1 is only October 9th. That doesn't seem that far away.
We're less than 2 months away.
We're already talking football. Once you're talking football, it's
or
fall.
3 months, sorry.
Right? Once you're talking football, it's fall. October, that's fall. We're there. We're there. Right? It's Wednesday's practically Friday. Friday's practically the weekend, so let's call it Saturday. Once you get to like the 20th of a month, month's practically over. So we're already in August.
You know what? Screw it. I'm on the way to Lenovo Center right now for the show to claim my spot.
I do think schedule releases have become funny. I'm like, just a side note here. The NFL does a ridiculous, every team puts out these really intricate release videos. You know the nuts and bolts of it. You're going to play your division teams more. You're going to have, if you're the Canes, a long road trip where you hit the West Coast a bunch when the state fair is going on. Like, we know but yes, there's something about just knowing like what team when that gets your juices flowing.
So did you see how the Carolina Hurricanes, on that note, did you see how the Hurricanes social media team officially announced the schedule in kind of like their comedic way?
I saw a post with Aho, right?
They did a video of Seth Jarvis's buddies that have traveled to games to see him. And it was all like, well, the Jarvis road trip is now set, and it's all of them in the car, and they're driving past different houses, different billboards, and it has the teams that they're playing on it. Very creative.
It's a good bit. You know what I want to have happen? I want Jarvis's buddies that drive from wherever, Winnipeg, to watch Jarvis's big games. I want them to road trip with Xavier Leggett. I just want him in the mix, and I want to make it a reality show.
I want them in a box together.
Yeah, that works.
Did you see how fired up Xavier Leggett was?
Oh, yeah.
When he went to the playoff game last year?
Oh, yeah.
Man, they got me up here at the glass, man.
I didn't know you had a Xavier Leggett impression.
I don't know if it was that good, but
better than I can do. As far as games I'm excited for, obviously the opener versus the Devils. It's at home. That's Thursday, October 9th, as I mentioned. Elsewhere on the schedule, January 6th is the return of Mikko Rantanen. So the Dallas Stars will be in Raleigh.
Boo that man.
He didn't want to be here, so make it so he doesn't want to be here ever again. And then December 23rd, right before the 4 or 5 day break, whatever it is for the holidays, Florida's in town. And I like the opportunity
those men.
For the Canes to land punches metaphorically, or maybe not metaphorically, against Florida. Those are the ones I'm looking forward to, but really we're looking forward to all of them, if we're being real. That's number 5. Let's hit number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
Has rallied in the swing of the pace with the hat trick. Look out, Chop House. National League takes the lead 4-3.
Unbelievable.
So the All-Star game yesterday was pretty good. Major League Baseball All-Star game. It was competitive. Ended up being 6-6 at the end of 9 innings. They go to a swing-off, little home run derby.
Which felt like a shootout.
So yeah, it felt like very much like a shootout. But I do think the league is still straddling two kind of ideologies about the All-Star game. They need to decide whether the game matters, like outcome, or whether the game is to create new fans and to be entertainment.
I think I might. I'll let you finish.
Okay. So Jacob Misiorowski pitched in the game. He has 5 career starts. As of right now, he hold on. Let me do some quick math. As of right now, about 4% of the innings that Jacob Misiorowski has thrown as a big leaguer have been in the All-Star game. He has 25, roughly, innings as a pitcher in the regular season, and he threw a complete inning in the All-Star game. he doesn't deserve to be there. He didn't pitch enough. He was called up late. He didn't have enough body of work, but they put him in the game, which tells me, but the other thing you need to know is he's electric. He has 89 pitches over 100 miles per hour. He threw a 98 mile per hour slider in the All-Star game that had the All-Stars in the dugout like smiling and going like, oh my gosh, what is this guy? Like, he's electric. So the fact that he's in the game tells me they're treating it like, no, we just want the most entertaining players. Right? Nathan Eovaldi, I believe, let me make sure I got this right. I want to make sure I got the right player. Nathan Eovaldi was given by his team, I believe it was Eovaldi. Anyway, there was a pitcher, I believe it was Eovaldi, has been given his All-Star bonus because his contract said he gets $100,000 if he makes the All-Star game, even though he wasn't picked for the All-Star game, because the team is essentially saying they didn't pick the best players to go to the All-Star game. They picked the bigger stars to go to the All-Star game. So we'll give you your money because you earned it. So that's Major League Baseball saying this is about best entertainment value rather than best player. Then they go to this swing-off, this home run derby to decide the game. And I'm going, this is it. This is the moment. They're going to put the best, biggest stars out there for a home run derby to decide the outcome. Brent Rooker, Jonathan Aranda, Randy Arozarena took on Pete Alonso, Kyle Schwarber, and Kyle Stowers.
Only one of those was in the home run derby. Rooker, right?
Rooker, Pete Alonso has won in the past. Like, I'm not saying they're awful, but I'm saying that could have been Aaron Judge, Cal Raleigh, Vlad Guerrero Jr. versus Shohei Ohtani, Pete Alonso, Kyle Schwarber. If you're doing it for entertainment, do it for entertainment. Some of those guys weren't even options because they had to be on the field and they had all these rules. Change the rules. Put the stars out there. Unless it is truly about who wins the game, and then you put in rules to make competitive balance, and you put in rules, and teams will put out, then it becomes a thing. But if it's just about entertainment value, put the guys that people want to see out there. If it's just about making it as good as possible for the 11-year-old that was allowed to stay up past their bedtime because the All-Star game is awesome, give them a reason to stay up. And no offense to those guys, it wasn't to see Kyle Stowers or Brent Rooker. Again, no offense. You're just not Aaron Judge. You're not Cal Raleigh. We might be the best people in the world to talk about this. Because do you know what the difference is between the popularity of Major League Baseball and the popularity of say, the NFL, a team that, like a league they're chasing? In Major League Baseball, like if you go to a city that has a team, they care about the home team, right? If you go to Baltimore, they're talking about the Orioles. If you go to Atlanta, they're talking about the Braves. Like that happens. But nationally, they don't matter as much, right? Major League Baseball is not a national sport right now, popularity-wise. It's a regional sport. The NFL is national, right? It doesn't matter if you are in San Antonio, you care about the NFL. I'm trying to pick if you are in where is there Portland, you care about the NFL. So we don't have a home MLB team. We're not near a Major League Baseball team, right? We're a long way from Atlanta. We're a long way from the teams up north. We're a long way from anybody to the south. We're a long way. I want to watch stars in that situation. I'm not sitting there going like, sweet, Rooker made it because he plays for, I don't even know who Rooker plays for. I'm not excited, Randy Arozarena, because he plays for some team out west. I want to see the national stars because I don't have a home team. Play the stars or make the game matter, in which case you can't have Mizorowski there. You got to have the players that earned it, right? You can't have it both ways. It's either an exhibition for entertainment or it's a serious event where the best players get to try to win a game that they care about for pride.
Or you play the extra innings until a winner's decided based off runs.
I actually would rather go the other way. Do you know what else I thought about? I thought this would be it. You send out a player, they get one swing. If they hit a home run, the other team comes out, they have to match. One player, one swing. If you don't hit a home run, the other team gets to come out. If they hit it, they win. It's over. And then every swing becomes the most electric thing in the world. And then you can next guy up, right? And you keep going until
someone no longer hits it.
Until one doesn't hit a home run. And you can take as many pitches as you want. Can you imagine Aaron Judge up there? Didn't like that one. Didn't like that one. Boom! And then now someone has to match it. It'd be awesome. That is number 4. Let's hit number 3.
Fafita steps up in the pocket. He unloads. He got a man wide open. T-Mac. And he just saunters into the end zone.
That's what it sounded like when Teteroa McMillan was scoring touchdowns in college at Arizona. Hopefully it sounds very similar for the Carolina Panthers next year. The Panthers, wide receivers and quarterbacks, met up in Minnesota for a 3-day workout/hangout. I said it earlier. I think it's important.
Went to a WNBA game.
Had some fun out on the
lake.
On the lake. Adam Thielen was kind of the host. He has his off-season home up there in Minnesota. Few things. One, Jalen Coker wasn't there. Andy Dalton wasn't there. We don't have reasons. Maybe they had something important to miss. I would have liked to have seen the whole squad out there. Other than that, pretty much everyone was there. Thielen, Leggett, McMillan, Jimmy Horn Jr., David Moore, Jatavian Sanders. I could go on and on. Bryce Young, Ethan Garbers, the quarterbacks. I think it's important. It sounds foolish. It sounds like they got together for like a summer camp. But those two positions need to be friends. And I also think the quarterback needs to be friends with the offensive line, but that's a different kind of bonding. The quarterback and the receivers need to be friends.
Quarterback buys the O-line gifts, usually.
At the end of the season, they absolutely should. Because they're doing the dirty work. And the bigger your contract is, the bigger that gift better be. But Teteroa McMillan and Bryce Young, they need to be buddies. And I don't care. They don't have to be best friends, right? They don't have to play video games every night. They don't have to they don't have to be next door neighbors. But they have to be friendly enough to be able to yell at each other and not take it personal. They have to be friendly enough to be able to communicate quickly with glances and one words, and they have to have inside jokes. They have to. And it's really tough because a lot of what goes on an NFL team does kind of correlate or is similar to other jobs, like day jobs, right? Obviously they're higher paid, but you have to know, you have to respect your manager, you have to respect your coach, right? You have to do what you're asked. Like there's things you got to show up, you got to work hard. All the more leverage you have is based on how successful you are. Just like if you're the number one salesperson in your entire company, you could probably get away with a little bit more, right? The legendary story comes from Lou Williams. Lou Williams, basketball player, 6-man, very good player. Early in his career, he was on the Sixers with AI, Allen Iverson. And he saw the way Allen Iverson was working or doing or saying something, right? And Kevin Ollie, who at the future UConn national championship winning coach, was also on the team. And he saw the way Lou Williams' eyes were lighting up, and he called Lou Williams over. He said, hey, young buck, come sit here. Lou Williams came over and he goes, his rules are not our rules. He does what he wants to do. We do what we got to do. Right? Because everyone's rules are same as that. Some of that stuff pertains elsewhere. Some completely does not. Right? In regular business, you don't have to necessarily be friends with your coworker. You just have to be able to complete your task. Quarterbacks and number one wide receiver, you have to have some kind of personal relationship, and that doesn't happen overnight. You have to have things like the group gets together and you joke. Group gets together, you go out on the lake. Group gets together, you go to a WNBA game. You have to do those sorts of things. And I think Adam Thielen knows it, which is why he's getting everybody together. Do you know what else? I don't know if this is a hardo move, but I did notice in the workout videos when they were running routes, everybody shorts and a t-shirt, right? Cleats, shorts, t-shirt. Everybody looks like they're working hard. Adam Thielen throws the helmet on.
Yeah.
Adam Thielen, he wants game reps. Got a vision with the face mask.
Panthers helmet too. It looks like he just took it out of the locker room.
35 years old. He said, I know how this works. I'm trying to get game ready. Takes me a little longer than everybody else. Throwing the helmet on. Nobody else had helmets. Funny move. It reminds me of like Johnny Manziel wore shoulder pads at his pro day, and everyone was like, whoa. I was like, I don't think that matters that much. As number 3, let's hit number 2.
Just the two of us. Stanley, long pass across for Ehlers. He's back against Sanderson. Ehlers cuts in the middle. Scores!
All right, I'm going to try to do this quicker than I did it earlier because I've had this conversation once today and it worked me up. The Canes system does not have to be relaxed. It does not have to change in magnitudes of 10. It does not have to give away all of the positives it does for the Canes in order to accommodate a scoring wing. An article on The Athletic, out right now, you can go read it. It has observations of the offseason and things still left to do, and it's got contract decisions that have to be made. It's got trade decisions that have to be made. And then it just says the Canes have to let Nikolai Ehlers cook. And the explanation is all about the Canes system and how it's good, but it didn't fit Mikko Rantanen, and it didn't fit Martin Necas. And now they have to either have Ehlers sacrifice his style of play to fit in with the Canes system, or the Canes system has to loosen its tight grip on the players in order for Nikolai Ehlers to do his thing. And I'm sitting here screaming at the top of my lungs, stop! I hit the microphone. I was so mad. Stop using Mikko Rantanen as an example of everything else that needs to be fixed.
When he didn't want to be here.
It was a one-off. It's different than the Jake Gensel. It's different than the Nikolai Ehlers. It's different than every other situation. He didn't want to be here. That's not an indictment on the system. It's not an indictment on the city of Raleigh. It's not an indictment on Rod Brindamore. It's not an indictment on Sebastian Aho. It's one dude. One guy. And even with his obvious, noticeable, poor body language, and he didn't want to be here, he was still getting great looks at goal-scoring opportunities, high leverage chances. He didn't punch them home, but that's not the system's fault. If Nikolai Ehlers wants to play for the Carolina Hurricanes and play top-line minutes, he's been playing 15 minutes a night at his previous stop with the Jets. If he wants to play 20 minutes a night, he's going to have to play defense. That doesn't mean he has to sacrifice anything offensively. He's going to have to backcheck and forecheck, and he's going to have to do things fundamentally sound. But who in their right mind would think, they're going to have to loosen their fundamentally sound demands in order to let a player not be fundamentally sound? What ridiculousness. In order for him to do the things that he's great at offensively, he's going to have to earn ice time. To do that, you're going to have to play good hockey. How ridiculous is it to think any of that would change? It's not mutually exclusive. The Canes don't have to loosen their system, and Nikolai Ehlers doesn't have to change the way he plays. He just has to play well and do the little things. Imagine this basketball conversation. Well, this guy doesn't like to play defense. So the team's going to have to stop demanding that guys play defense in order to get his scoring ability. No. Coaches demand good play. That's how it works. And it's not just one thing. Now, if you want to say they're going to have to stop, just chipping and chasing as much, okay, yeah. But I don't think all of that was done because they were like, I could carry this puck on my stick and stick handle and get it to the front of the net and shoot an awesome shot, but that's not the way we play, so instead I'll just chip it in. That's not what they were thinking. Nikolai Ehlers is not going to be reprimanded for carrying the puck with speed into the offensive zone and creating scoring opportunities. Other guys might not do it because that's not their game, but if it's his, do it. And then, yes, he will still have to play defense, and he will still have to, mark his guy, and he'll still, yes, you can have both. Very frustrating to me. So let's get to something optimistic. Let's get to something awesome. That's number 2. Let's hit number 1. Number 1 is House Bill 3. Let me make sure I get the number right. I think it's 367, but let me scroll down here. 657. Almost had it wrong. Senate Bill 657. It is proposed right now in the state government of North Carolina. It would set aside $11 million in the sports betting tax revenue for high school coaches and middle school coaches in the state of North Carolina. Public schools would make a stipend, all of them. It would guarantee all of the middle and high school coaches at public schools in North Carolina would make a stipend of at least $3,000 per season. Genius. I want this to pass so bad. I've never been a lobbyist of any kind. I don't dabble in politics. I feel like this almost isn't even political, right? I feel like politics, there's like a pro and a con. So you got the two parties feuding, and I stay out of that because I'm not educated enough. I don't spend enough time. I couldn't possibly spend enough time on those things and watch every Canes game and read every Panthers article and pay attention to all the recruiting for all of the teams in the triangle. There's not enough time in the day. But if a politician needs me out there, I will do whatever I can personally to get this bill to pass. I don't even know, first of all, take all this with a grain of salt. I'm just a sports radio guy. So, I really shouldn't be getting into politics. But I just care a ton about youth sports, and I care a ton about good coaches remaining coaches at the high school and middle school and younger levels. A lot of times it's parents at the younger levels, but in middle school and high school, if there's a great coach, and there's a bunch of them, right? The high school OT guys, they're right across the cubicles from me. Highschoolot.com, check it out. They cover high school sports in the state of North Carolina. All sports, as good as anybody, better than anybody. But you read their articles, you hear about all of these great coaches that sacrifice so much time and energy and time with their family to help young people achieve their goals and learn lessons. It is catastrophic. It is a shame when a great coach maybe leaves teaching or leaves coaching because they financially want to go do better in another industry. They love coaching. They love teaching. They love being a part of that, right? They passing on the wisdom and lessons to the young people. It's something they're passionate about, but that sales job but that finance job, but starting that business is more financially lucrative and they have to take care of their family. So they do that. And when it happens, it is a shame. And am I saying that $3,000 per season as a guaranteed stipend is going to stop all of that from happening? No. But if you're a 3-sport coach and on top of your teaching salary, whatever other money you're making, you get $9,000 because you're coaching football in the fall, you're on the wrestling staff in the winter, and your track in the whatever it is. If you're doing all of that, you should be compensated. And quite frankly, there's teachers in general, if we're getting real. My mom was a teacher, not paid enough. But then the teachers that go above and beyond and give even more time, $3,000 per season out of sports gambling revenue. I'm not asking for the money to come from somewhere that's been going. I'm not hitting up the I don't know, other, this is where I shouldn't be talking politics. I'm not taking it from some other committee that's been spending the money the last 10 years and they're trying to do something good and some other stuff. I'm saying this money wasn't around until last year. Sports gambling revenue, tax revenue, it's new. Give it to this, sports to sports just makes sense. It just makes sense. Great coaches, compensate them. It's the least we can do. But make sure, by the way, then we give them more money, I would say, let's get the good coaches, right? Hey, not just giving this to anybody. You gotta show you're doing your thing. Players got to be seeing value in your program, which I think most are. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, we need some numbers game contestants, don't we? The prize for today, Outlaw Music Festival tickets. We have a pair of tickets. The festival's coming to Coastal Credit Union Music Park on Sunday, July 27th. So go ahead and give us a call if you want to play the numbers game and potentially win the tickets. The number to call, 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326 for your chance to win a pair of tickets to the Outlaw Music Festival. You got to win the numbers game, though. Numbers game coming up next.
Dennis Cox here from my good friends over at Law Tigers. Something that I appreciate about Law Tigers is that they are part of the motorcycle riding community. And that is something as a motorcycle rider that I respect and greatly appreciate, because I know if I'm injured in a motorcycle accident, there are people that I can turn to that know what I'm going through after an accident, that understand what my gear is worth, but also know how much my bike is worth as well. That's why the case evaluation with Law Tigers is always free. They don't get paid a dime until your case settles. And that's why Law Tigers is there for you in the motorcycle riding community. So if you're injured in a motorcycle accident, make sure you give them a call at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. Again, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS is the number to call if you're injured in a motorcycle accident. Like I said, the case evaluation with Law Tigers is always free, and they don't get paid a dime until your case settles. And contact them even before you contact the insurance company. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
Hey, Tim Donnelly here with some great news. Win Your Weight in Meat is back on 99.9 The Fan. Text BEEF, B-E-E-F, to 919-860-5326 and enter to be one of our finalists. Through July 18th, we'll pick 10 people to come on air during the drive from 3 to 6, Monday through Friday, and share their weight. Then, on July 21st, we will randomly select one lucky winner, and they will score their weight in meat. Served up by our friends with the NC Beef Council. Beef, it's what's for dinner.
This is Gordon Miller from Miller Lending in Cary. If you're in the market for a mortgage, good luck. Comparing apples to oranges is now more challenging than ever, as we've noticed a return to 80s-style lending with multiple points being charged up front in order to make the payment appear more attractive. Typically, the lowest rate quote you find will have the highest closing cost you'll find, as numerous lenders play this game of getting you to focus only on the payment and not the $15,000 due at closing. On refinancing, it's even worse, as lenders willingly add these costs to your loan amount. At Miller Lending, we don't believe in closing costs. By working with our popular no-cost program, you simply close on today's rates and refinance anytime you'd like. Nothing rolled in, nothing charged at closing. Imagine having the freedom to take advantage of smaller rate drops, opportunities to drop PMI, or simply put that money to better use. So before you throw away thousands of dollars in needless fees, pick up the phone and call Miller Lending today. 919-447-3377, or simply apply online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender on MLS number 250-2146.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/deal. That's leaffilter.com/deal.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. We have Cole in Raleigh and Jake in Raleigh on the phone lines. They'll be competing, and they'll be playing for Outlaw Music Festival tickets coming to Coastal Credit Union Music Park later this month. As always, we will ask the same question to both contestants. They will answer, and our judge, the producer for today, it is Graham Hill, will decide which answer was his favorite, and that person will get to go first. Cole in Raleigh, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. The question for today is, we've been talking a lot about how awesome middle school and high school coaches are. So, inspired by that conversation, you can pick any person. Could be a player, could be a coach, any person from sports, right?
All right.
That would be your coach for a middle school sport. Okay? So you're on like an 8th grade team of whatever sport you like to play, and you get to pick your coach, a sports figure throughout history. Who are you choosing?
I'd say Dean Smith.
Dean Smith? That's a pretty good one. I'm sure there's a lot of Tar Heel fans out there right now going like, yeah, him or Roy.
Oh, yeah.
Roy's an assistant,
Heel.
right? Roy's an assistant. All right. Cole gets to take a minute for a second, sit on hold. Jake, you're up next. Jake, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, same question to you. In this hypothetical, you are on an 8th grade sports team. You get to pick the sport, and you get to pick anybody to be your middle school coach. It has to be a coach or a player, somebody from the sports world. Who are you choosing to coach you?
I'm going LeBron because he's got great mentorship skills, brought up a lot of young guys in the game, and does a lot of schoolwork in the community. I'm LeBron.
LeBron. All right, two basketball coaches on the middle school basketball team. We have Dean Smith on one sideline. We have LeBron on the other sideline. Which one are you choosing, Graham?
I mean, I feel like I'm between a rock and a hard place, but
there's also no wrong answers.
With my North Carolina ties, I feel like I have to go with Dean Smith of North Carolina.
That's fair. Dean's his assistant would be Roy. Who would be LeBron? You got Dwayne Wade as the assistant, maybe?
Chris Bosh.
Yeah. Kyrie. The drive, or like Spoelstra. The drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. So going first will be Cole and Raleigh, but Jake, you will have your chance. Just stay on hold. Cole, are you ready to pick a category?
Yes, sir.
NFL A-level guys. These are all players whose first name starts with the letter A. NFL Virginia-born players, all players born in the state of Virginia. NBA, the most random assortment of active players. These are players from categories we've had in the past that we never got to because they didn't get to those ones, so it's just a random assortment. Or NHL Hurricanes only.
Let me do NFL names that start with A.
All right, these are all players whose first names start with the letter A, NFL players. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. And can you turn down your radio just a little bit?
Yeah.
We're getting an echo, and I want to make sure I can hear you. You could turn it off, actually, if you could do that.
Yeah, I got it off.
Check. I can still hear me. All right.
Can you hear me now?
All right, well, yeah, it's a little better now. So if, basically with this little connection thing going on here, if I say it again, just say it again, right? That's kind of my way to let you know I couldn't hear it or I couldn't understand it.
Okay.
All right, you said you have no questions, so your time will start when you hear the horn.
All right.
Andrew Luck, Indianapolis Colts.
12.
Correct. Andrew Whitworth, Los Angeles Rams.
Pass.
Adam Vinatieri, Indianapolis Colts.
36.
Incorrect. Ahmad Bradshaw, New York Giants.
8.
Incorrect. Andrew Whitworth, Los Angeles Rams.
10.
Incorrect. Adam Vinatieri, Indianapolis Colts. You didn't get shut out. You got one. Andrew Luck with the save there. Andrew Whitworth with the Rams wore number 77. He's now, you see him on like the Thursday Night Football broadcast.
Oh, lineman. I know.
Yeah, bald guy. He wears the blazer with the hoodie underneath it now that he's a broadcaster.
Yeah. He just retired not too long ago.
Yep. Adam Vinatieri with the Colts wore number 4, famously at number 4. And Ahmad Bradshaw, New York Giants running back, 44 is the number we were looking for. As I said, you got one. You avoided the shutout. We'll see if it's enough for the win. Go ahead and sit on hold for a second. That brings us to Jake and Raleigh. Jake, are you there?
Yeah.
All right. The categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL players that are Virginia-born, NBA players, which we're calling the most random assortment of active players, or NHL Hurricanes throughout history.
Let's go Canes.
Let's go Canes. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. I will say in this category, we know the team, but I say it anyway to keep it fair timing-wise with the other categories. And you need at least 2 for the win. Do you have any questions before we get started?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Martin Necas, Carolina Hurricanes.
88.
Correct. Dmitry Orlov, Carolina Hurricanes.
7.
Correct. Brent Burns, Carolina Hurricanes.
8.
Correct. Brendan Smith, Carolina Hurricanes.
Pass.
Kirk McLean, Carolina Hurricanes.
22.
Incorrect. Brendan Smith, Carolina Hurricanes.
9.
Incorrect. Kirk McLean, Carolina Hurricanes.
28.
Incorrect. Brendan Smith, Carolina Hurricanes.
17. I shouldn't have guessed that one.
I wanted you to stop before you said teen. I almost said correct. It was 7 for Brendan Smith, and you went 7, and I was like, then you went teen. I had to back off. McLean, we were looking for number 1, so you weren't as close on that one. But you got 3. You got Natchez, Orlov, and Burns. That is plenty for the win. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Go ahead and stay on the line, and we'll make sure you get those Outlaw Music Festival tickets.
Right on.
Right on. Oh, I appreciate you as well. Stay on the line, and Graham will get that info. Didn't mean to cut you off, but it happens.
That's my fault.
I do want to let everybody know real quickly here. I didn't realize this. Yesterday, we had a perfect score. And apparently the entire time that the perfect score was going, there was a EAS test, the warning test thing that sometimes takes over our channel. And I don't know that when it happens, okay? I don't hear it in my headphones. We just keep doing it. So there was a perfect score yesterday. I guess before we started, the test started, and then by the time we came back, we were just kind of wrapping up our conversation and congratulating and moving on.
It was an actual WRL weather alert day.
There it is.
You wake up and it seems like it's one of those for the past couple of weeks.
Life in North Carolina, but I do want to give the guy credit because meaning like I'll wear this one. We didn't check that we updated the lists, so we didn't get. There were only 2 possible categories because the 2 that were used yesterday were still populated with the players from the day before. And he went second. So he didn't get to pick a category. He just got on. I said, you're doing NBA. It's the only one we have that's ready. And then he got a perfect score, which is wildly impressive, right? Most people get to pick their area of expertise and still don't get a perfect score. So the fact that it was completely missed due to a test, I wanted to make sure – gave a little love there. It was a 25-second perfect score, not the fastest, but still didn't get to pick the category. Adds a degree of difficulty. So
he's been qualified for Numbers Game Live.
Been qualified and came with got the Outlaw Music Festival tickets and everything. But brutal. That I was so excited, and apparently it was all just missed on air. So what are you gonna do? The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Speaking of what Graham was just talking about, the weather in North Carolina this time of year. Oh, boy, it's up, it's down, it's severe, it's not severe. You know what weather is like in North Carolina, which is why, part of the reason why, you need to have Mainer Service Company's number saved in your phone. Tim Donnelly here for Mainer Service Company. When it's through a heat wave, your AC, it's working hard. Then it rains a bunch. Maybe it gets cold in a couple months, and your heating's working hard. And I don't know, maybe everybody gets together for a barbecue, for a little grill out, for a little cookout. And then when everyone's at your house, they're all using the bathroom, putting extra work on the plumbing. Now your plumbing's not working. Maybe there's a lightning strike. Now we're dealing with electrical problems. Whatever it is, right? Whatever the weather has going on, Mainer Service Company can help keep your house ready and operating as efficiently as possible. We're talking heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, all of it from a locally owned, established in the community company like Mainer Service Company. It is quintessential that you have this number saved in your phone, so when you need it, it's there. It's not one of those things that you want to be looking for when you absolutely need it. You want to have it already saved. So everybody right now, unless you're driving, and if you're driving, do this as soon as you pull over and park. Take your phone out and save this number, 919-361-0993. Put it Mainer Service Company. That's the thing there, 919-361-0993. 0993. You can also visit them online at MainerServices.com. MAYNOR Services.com. Just 7 days until the Carolina Panthers are in training camp. 7 days, a week from today. Our question of the day for the Panthers comes up next.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card, so let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything! The Capital One Saver Card is at table 27 and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu!
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
The Adam Gold Show.
Everybody in Duke's starting five that made the Final Four got drafted. 3 of them in the top 10. Cooper Flagg 1, Konkadipple 4, Kamon Malawak went 10. Sion James and Tyrese Proctor also drafted. And I keep hearing, how did they not win the title? How did they not even make it to Monday night? Carolina had Jamison and Carter and didn't make it to the championship game 2 years in a row. It's sports.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
You'll be one smart cookie when you try Bluebell Cookie Cake Ice Cream. A sweet cream ice cream loaded with chocolate chip cookie cake pieces and swirls of chocolate and vanilla icing. This cookie cake ice cream really takes the cake.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream, now available at Wegmans.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And you know, we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a Go-See. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. They're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister to you.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
Off the play fake, Herbert's a throw. Herbert looking to the near sideline. Herbert's under pressure. He breaks away from Cloudy, throws on the run, intercepted! Jaycee Horn at the 40-yard line.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Another reminder, just 2 more days. Thursday, Friday. 2 more opportunities to become a finalist in our Win Your Weight in Meat competition. The winner will receive a gift card to First Hand Foods. First Hand Foods sells pasture-raised local meats from North Carolina farmers. And what do you have to do to potentially win your weight in meat? Well, I'm glad you asked. Text BEEF, B-E-E-F, to 919-860-5326. That is the keyword BEEF. The number to text it, 919-860-5326. If you've done so before, you can do it again. Once a day gets you another entry each day. We have 2 more chances. So at 4 o'clock tomorrow, we will randomly sort through and pick from all of the people that texted it in BEEF to 919-860-5326. We'll pick one. We'll call them at 4 o'clock. They will either answer or they will have 5 minutes to call us back, or we'll go on to the next. We'll bring them on air. We'll ask them a quick question. They will be entered as a finalist. We'll have 10 finalists by the time it's all said and done after Friday. And then one of those 10 finalists will be randomly selected. We'll call them on Monday, and they will win their weight in meat. So there's 2 more chances. 2 more chances for you guys out there to become a finalist and potentially win your weight in meat. All brought to you by the NC Beef Council. Beef, it's what's for dinner. Now, there's 2 more days of that. There's 7 more days until Carolina Panthers training camp. There's 50 more days before the first real regular season NFL game of the year. It's all coming down the pipeline, right?
I feel like we're on the countdown to Christmas at this point.
50? Yeah, what would it be? We're like almost right at the beginning of November.
Yeah.
All right, that's fair.
Preparing for Thanksgiving almost.
Yeah, we're there. The beginning of the training camp's kind of like Thanksgiving, right? You celebrate it, but you don't get as much time off from work. The question for today, every day we've been doing this now for, 50 some odd days. Every show leading up to training camp, there's a question of the day pertaining to the Carolina Panthers. Today's question is, will Jaycee Horn be a top corner in the NFL this season? Jaycee Horn was given the bag, as the kids say. 4 years, $100 million contract extension earlier this offseason. Do you know what's fascinating about that deal? It wasn't that long ago that he signed it. It was big news. We talked about it on the show. 4 years, $100 million.
And it felt like the Panthers had like a glorified superstar player on their roster.
And you hope he is. That's what we're trying to answer here. Is he? But the part that's fascinating is when he signed it, it was the largest contract in a per year on a per year basis, like average annual value, that a defensive back had signed in NFL history. Jaycee Horn was making more per year on his contract than any defensive back in NFL history. Now, they haven't played a game since then. They haven't even reported for training camp since then. He's already down to the third highest paid cornerback in NFL history, and he is over $5 million per year below the highest paid player at cornerback in NFL history. He signed at $25 million per year. Derek Stingley, like 9 days later, signed for $30 million a year. And then just a couple of days ago, Sauce Gardner signed for a little over $30 million per year. So the benefit of getting that deal done when you did is you probably saved yourself a couple $1 million per year because the market hadn't been reset the way it is now. So to make the deal make sense, he no longer, right, if you go by money, right, and say the highest paid player should be the best at the position, he now just has to be top 3 to make it a value rather than top 1. I'll put it this way. If he's healthy, which is a big if for him, that's kind of the big question. If he's healthy, top 5 in the league is what you expect.
I mean, honestly, your question could have been for today, does Jaycee Horn stay healthy this year? I'm not trying to be condescending or anything. That's just kind of the battles that he's been dealing with throughout his NFL career.
I mean, this past year, the reason why the contract came when it did is because he stayed healthy last year, right? He didn't miss, the second half of the season the way we've seen him do it. If he's healthy, he has to be a top 5 corner in the league. But that's not just it. I'm actually going to push back a little bit on what you just said, right? If he is healthy for all 17 games, I don't think what we've seen from him is enough to be considered one of the top 5 guys, right? I think he not only has to stay healthy, but he also has to improve. And there's one specific way he has to improve. And it's not completely within his control, but it kind of is. He has to be just as much of a lockdown guy fundamentally, right? He has to continue to have a low completion percentage against and a low quarterback rating against. He has to continue to do all of those things and also force more turnovers. I'm going to say that again. Force more turnovers. Get his hands on the ball. And the tough part about it for him is, at least the way it's situated now, the rest of the secondary doesn't scare me a ton from a pass coverage standpoint. Trevon Merrick is a very, very good player. The safety they signed for $17 million a year. But the part that scares me is his run-stopping ability. I hope he surprises me as a cover guy. Mike Jackson, who's the other corner, I don't think he's deterring many passes thrown his way. And I still don't know who's going to be their free safety, kind of more back in coverage. So if I'm playing against the Panthers, I'm doing everything I can to not throw it at Jaycee Horn. Right? I'm doing everything I can to attack these other guys because they're the ones that seem more vulnerable, which means not only does Jaycee Horn have to be really good, he has to be really good and get his hands on the ball without that many opportunities. I don't think he's going to be tested very often. And all that means is you can't miss it. When you can tip a pass, you have to catch it. Right? When you get a poorly thrown ball your way, you have to capitalize on it. And you may say, well, that's unfair. That's tough. Oh, well, that's not his fault. If they're not throwing it at him a bunch, listen, he's getting $25 million a year. He's the third highest paid player at his position in history. I think it's okay if we demand a lot and we understand that it's difficult, but he has to do it anyway. If he is healthy, he has to be a top corner. And then the way he does that, because even last year, right, he was an all-pro. He's not amongst the top corners in the league last year. If you look around and ask those that do the evaluations, the thing he didn't do that he needs to is get his hands on the ball. Pretty much everything else I like. Pretty much everything else I think he does really well. But that's a big, what if, right? That's a big maybe.
I mean, I played, coming into this segment, the highlight of him intercepting Justin Herbert in the second game of the season. And I just feel like that's kind of one of the only plays that we really remember out of Horn last season. Well, at least an interception, at least.
I remember that play exactly. And I remember, first of all, that was in the middle of a complete debacle of a start, right?
Well, Panthers were only down 6-0 at that point, so it was still looking pretty.
But game 1 was awful and game 2 was awful.
Yeah.
So it was kind of in the middle, like the sandwich between, just really bad play. But I do remember vividly going, all right, at least he got that dude and he's stepping up, right? At least he's kind of putting the one part of his game that he hasn't put together very well, getting his hands on the ball, like he's doing it right out the gate. Because up till prior to that, granted, there were a ton of injuries, but he had 4 career interceptions in the 3 years prior. I think it ended up being 21 or 22 games. He had 3 career interceptions. Last year, he played 15 games. He had 1 interception. Have to get his hands on the ball. I would even take forced fumbles or fumble recoveries. He has none of those either, but I also, don't necessarily knock a corner for not physically ripping at the ball when you're tackling in space. Just get him on the ground. It is a very simple, not easy, but simple decision for the Panthers as far as evaluating their guy. It is a great season if he does everything the exact same and gets 5 interceptions. It's probably not a value on his contract if in any season over the length of the extension, he is not grabbing 3, 4, 5 interceptions a year. I'm not asking for 8. I'm not asking to lead the league, but you need to make those plays. If you're getting that kind of money, you have to make the game-changing plays. The ones that turn a loss into a win. A couple times a year. Turnovers, I mean, it's cliche. Turnovers are some of the most important plays in the NFL. It's why every color commentator, every analyst, what's key to today's game? Well, whoever wins the turnover battle. It's the key to a basketball game is whoever puts the ball in the hoop more. I think you're right on that one. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, coming to a close here. Personal request for you. Please subscribe to our YouTube, 99.9 The Fan. We are putting out a ton of content. We had a whole meeting today, and quite a bit of it was about our YouTube content. So thank you for consuming it if you do. And if you don't, 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. Search for it, subscribe, tell your friends. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you to Graham, keeping us up and running the last 3 days. We should have Dennis back tomorrow, but Graham did a great job. I think that's it. So we'll see you tomorrow at 3. Until then, have a great night, everybody.